This girl is Ada, and she often dreams about a city that sank into a lake. When she was little, she heard a story about a love triangle between a princess, a prince, and a snake god that led to the city's collapse. Later, when she grew up, those dreams appeared again, so out of curiosity, Ada started looking into the legend of Fadeng Nong Ai. She meets Corrugate, who looks exactly like a man in her dreams. When hearing news about a sighting of a snake god like in the legend, Corrugate decides to investigate. Whether the two of them will discover the truth and break the ancient curse of that old city, let's watch and see right now. The legend of Fadeng Nong Ai tells that, once upon a time, a long time ago, there was a princess named Kamkong who met and fell in love with Fanky without knowing that Fanky was actually a snake god. That day, Fanky went into the forest to take a nice bath, accidentally met a young lady at the stream, and she was helped by Fanky. Fanky fell head over heels in love with Kamkong, even though he knew that humans and snakes could not be together. After about a year of dating, they decided to get engaged, and the king agreed to it. However, the king found out that Fanky was a snake and tried to expose the truth, having a shaman suppress the spirit of the sacred snake. Kamkong found out and ran to beg her father not to harm the person she loved, but he still decided to kill Fanky. At that critical moment, Fanky transformed into a snake god and attacked the people there to take Kamkong back to the underwater palace with him, including the king. When Kamkong stood up to protect her parents, Fanky stopped and apologized to her. Seeing the people being ruthlessly hurt by Fanky, Kamkong could not continue loving him anymore, so she chased him away and swore that she would never be with him in any lifetime. As for Fanky, he was heartbroken but ready to wait for her forever, so he returned to the underwater palace to meditate and pay for his karma. The young couple was separated, and each lived their own life. But because the karma they created was too great, they both received the punishment of being reincarnated together in an era more than 100 years later, which is where the legend of Fadeng Nong Ai begins. The king of that time had two princesses named Manrin and Ikam. Ikam is the reincarnation of Kamkong. The king wanted to hold a ceremony to worship the gods, so he had the two princesses dance in the ceremony. Prince Fadeng saw Ikam and was also mesmerized by her beauty. Not only that, Fanky, who was meditating in the underwater palace, was awakened and wanted to go ashore to meet Ikam, who had a face exactly like Kamkong, because he was still madly in love with that princess. The snake goddess Sithra found out and was extremely angry. She was the new fiancée that his father had arranged for Fanky, but she did not have his affection. On the shore, the ceremony was taking place when suddenly the sky turned dark, the wind blew incredibly hard, and then the snake god Suthanakarat appeared, who was also Fanky's father and the ruler of the underwater palace. The villagers were all amazed because they had lived long enough to see a real snake god. When the snake god left, the storm was intense and everyone ran for their lives. Ikam slipped and fell hard, but Fadeng ran over to catch her and carried her away from there. Being cared for by Fadeng, Ikam's little heart fluttered quite a bit. A while later, Manrin found her and Fadeng resting in the forest, and when the servants came to pick them up, the two sisters planned to thank Fadeng, but he had already disappeared. It turns out that Fadeng had heard rumors about Ikam's beauty for a long time, so he boldly came to the ceremony to see her with his own eyes. The servant Fagawang walking beside him wanted to meet Princess Manrin. Basically, these two young men were very infatuated with the two princesses. After that meeting, Ikam was constantly lovesick. Back with Fanky, he still could not give up on the person he loved and wanted to go ashore to meet Princess Ikam. He begged Fakin, the person guarding him, to let him go ashore. Fakin could not stop him, so he had to go along. When they escaped, they were spotted by Sithra, and naturally, she was extremely jealous and angry. After many hardships, Fanky finally met Ikam. She didn't know who the guy in front of her was, and to make matters worse, Fanky lunged at her to reminisce about old memories, making her scared and confused about what was going on with this stranger right in her face. Ikam tried to explain that she wasn't the Kamkong he was talking about, but Fanky was still obsessed. So he tried to force a kiss on her to make her remember her past life. Hearing her sister scream, Manrin rushed over to check it out. Fanky immediately turned into a huge snake and slithered away. The king found out there was a giant snake in his daughter's palace and was furious, punishing the soldiers. But luckily the queen put in a good word for them, so the soldiers were able to keep their heads. Back with Fanky after meeting Ikam, he was totally sure she was Kamkong, but Fakin advised him to stop being so stubborn and just go back to the underwater palace. If Ikam found out he was a snake god, the tragedy from their past life would happen all over again, because humans and snakes can never be together. However, Fanky was still hung up on his love, believing that as long as Ikam remembered the past life, they could be together again. As for Fadeng, the guy was also lovesick for Ikam and really wanted to marry her, and he had the queen's total support, who was enthusiastically playing matchmaker. She told Fagawang to take a letter establishing friendship between the two cities to Ikam's father. Just as news of Ikam's beauty spread far and wide, the king worried that too many suitors would cause chaos, So he announced he was looking for a husband for his daughter, prioritizing those who were already ruling on the throne. So the bride's family agreed to meet the groom's family to get better acquainted. 7 days later, Fadeng came as a prince to meet the king and Ikam, and realizing Fadeng was the one who saved her, Ikam was totally shocked and a bit salty because the last time they met, Fadeng didn't introduce himself as a prince and just left without saying a word. The guy even brought gold and jewels to win over his future father-in-law. Both the queen and the king could see the look of love in Fadeng's eyes for their daughter. Back with Fanky through some magic, he sensed he had a romantic rival. Closing his eyes, he could see the whole welcome party in the palace, and he was fuming with jealousy when he saw sparks flying between Ikam and Fadeng. The snake goddess Sithra was also angry because Fanky went ashore and refused to come back. She couldn't accept that Fanky wanted to take Ikam back as his main wife while she would be kicked to the curb, so she was determined to crash the party no matter what. Back at the party, Fadeng seemed to realize that Ikam was mad at him for not telling her the truth that he was a prince. Luckily, the king and queen created an opportunity for the lovebirds to talk privately. Ikam was still sulking, so she didn't bother staying to chat and walked out, and Fadeng quickly chased after her to explain. Manran also wanted to run over and be nosy, but Fagoeng stopped her, telling her to worry about their own business first. Fadeng tried his absolute hardest to sweet-talk Ikam, apologizing for disguising himself as a commoner to sneak into the ceremony, saying he only did it to see her. After talking until his throat was dry, Ikam finally smiled and forgave him. Fadeng gave Ikam a shiny gold bracelet as a gift to express his feelings. Fanky found out and was absolutely furious. He revealed his form as a snake demon and rushed in to duel with Fadeng. Unfortunately for him, Fadeng had a blade that suppresses snake spirits, and with just a basic move he left Fanky reeling. The two sides clashed violently, and a moment later, Fagoeng and the palace staff ran over to lend a hand. Old Man Thou brought out a chain that counters snake demons to chase Fanky away. The king immediately told Old Man Thou to chase after him quickly, and not let the snake demon get away. Fadeng was injured and was personally cared for by Ikam. This guy also really knew how to act like a baby to get her to spoon-feed him medicine. That night, Fanky snuck into Ikam's room again. He used what little strength he had left to beg Ikam to save him, telling her that they used to be in love in a past life so he meant her no harm, and hoping she wouldn't be scared. Fanky asked her to help take off the necklace around his neck. Feeling sorry for him, Ikam softened up and helped remove the necklace, then kicked him out. A moment later, Old Man Thou's group followed the trail left by the snake and ran over to find him, knocking on Ikam's door. Manran was worried her younger sister was in danger, so she banged on the door violently. When Ikam opened the door to stall for time, Fanky took the opportunity to crawl out. But then he was still chased closely by Old Man Kam's group. Luckily Fakin arrived in time to take him back to the underwater palace to heal his wounds. After that time, being helped by Ikam made Fanky hold on to the hope of rekindling their old love even more, and taking Ikam back to the underwater palace to live together. As for Fadeng, during his recovery at the palace, he successfully won Ikam's love, and the two really enjoyed the moment spending time together. Until one day, Fadeng recovered and reluctantly had to start a long-distance relationship with Ikam to return to his city. Manran and Fagoeng also officially became a couple. Time passed, and when the traditional festival arrived, the king sent letters inviting neighboring cities to come and join the fun. Fadeng received the letter and was crazy happy, getting dressed up to go meet his lover after so many days apart. On the day the festival took place, a huge crowd participated, full of royals from all over. Fadeng and the rocket procession on the way to the festival were blocked by Fanky, who used a swarm of snake demons turned into zombies to attack them fiercely. Ikam waited and waited at the palace without seeing Fadeng arrive, thinking he didn't keep his word to come back for her. It was almost time for the rocket procession, but Fadeng still hadn't arrived, making the king angry, and he ordered that if Fadeng didn't bring the rockets on time, he would bring an army to attack his city, and the relationship between the two cities would be over. After waiting another hour and Fadeng still hadn't arrived, the king was furious and decided to make this year's festival a competition to choose a son-in-law. If the rocket of any prince present here flew the highest, he would get to marry Ikam. Just when she thought she had to marry someone else, luckily Fadeng arrived in time. The queen spoke up for him to the king to let him participate. Otherwise, if Ikam had to marry someone she didn't love, she would be miserable for her whole life. The king softened his heart and gave Fadeng a chance to participate in the competition. The competition began, and the princes took turns showing off their rocket firing skills. The first two shots weren't worth mentioning, but the third rocket from Chow Fa went really high, putting a bit of pressure on Fadeng because he was up against a tough opponent. It was Fadeng's turn. He prayed first before getting ready to fire, and everyone was anxiously waiting to see. However, as soon as the fuse was lit, Fanky sent a snake out to hold onto the rocket tightly. No matter how much the soldiers poked at it, they couldn't get it off, causing the rocket to explode in midair and not fly as high as Chow Fa's. So the king kept his word to marry Ikam off to Chow Fa, making her leave in heartbreak. Fadeng saw Fanky standing far away and realized he had been played dirty, so he chased after Fanky. Ikam ran back to her room and locked the door, not letting anyone in, and the queen advised the king to call off this marriage because Chow Fa was the king's nephew, and close relatives like that couldn't get married. The king also deeply regretted the bet he just made and had a headache trying to figure out a solution. Back with Fadeng, he chased Fanky deep into the forest to settle the score once and for all. Fanky realized that in his past life, Fadeng was actually General Insi who sacrificed his life to protect Kamkong. Hearing Fanky say he was Ikam's lover in a past life, Fadeng didn't understand a thing. Instead of arguing, the two sides chose to rush at each other, splitting into two pairs to duel, with neither side willing to back down. First, the human side was weaker and got beaten black and blue by the snake spirits. It was only after Fadeng pulled out the blade that suppresses snake spirits that he regained the advantage, and the snake spirit side couldn't fight back, so they had to hit the road. That whole day, Ikam kept herself locked in her room, not wanting to see anyone. Manrin had to persuade her for a long time to get her to go out for a walk, to clear her mind. But actually, she was secretly helping Fadeng meet Ikam. As soon as they met, they ran to hug each other tightly. Ikam didn't want to marry anyone other than Fadeng, but she couldn't disobey her father's words. After thinking for a while, Fadeng decided to bring betrothal gifts to show the king their love, hoping it might make the king change his mind about marrying her off to Chow Fa. He swore to Ikam that he would do whatever it takes to prove his love for her, and that nothing would change that, even if the sky fell. True to his word, Fadeng went with Ikam to see the king to ask for her hand in marriage. Ikam gently reminded her father that if he didn't agree to let her marry Fadeng, she would just go straight to reincarnation. She'd rather die than marry Chow Fa. Manrin and Fagoeng also put pressure on the king. Luckily, Chow Fa's parents also had no intention of taking their niece as a daughter-in-law, so they agreed to cancel the previous engagement and gave their blessing to Ikam and Fadeng. Long story short, the king agreed to let Fadeng bring the traditional wedding gifts to ask for her hand in marriage. Recovering in the underwater palace, Fanky heard the news that Ikam was going to marry someone else, and he was extremely restless and worried, unable to sit still. Sithra told him to stop being so stubborn because in her past life, Princess Kamkong swore that no matter how many times she reincarnated, Fanky would only have unrequited love and never win her heart. Besides, humans had chased Fanky away and wouldn't accept a human and a snake being together, so she advised him to give up on meeting Ikam. A few days passed, and Fadeng kept his promise by preparing the wedding gifts to ask for Ikam's hand. He was even thoughtful enough to have Fagoeng bring the gifts to the bride's family. First, that night, the wedding procession rested in the forest near the border of the two cities. Fadeng still felt uneasy even though the wedding was taking place the next day, afraid that Fanky would come to cause trouble again. Just as expected, Fanky was on pins and needles wanting to crash the wedding. Fakin advised him to stay calm, as he was about to complete his cultivation to become human, and if he endured a little longer, maybe in the next life he could be with Kamkong. Fanky couldn't accept that and was determined to find Ikam, believing that she would remember all the memories of their past life. Morning came. An old man thou brought a hunter to the princess's palace to make some protective talismans for Ikam to keep snakes away. Seeing that, Fanky immediately turned into a squirrel to go meet Ikam, ignoring Fakin's warning that he would lose all his snake spirit powers. Fanky transformed into a white squirrel and snuck into the palace. Ikam had just finished getting dressed as a bride when she saw the white squirrel and wanted to run over to pet it, but Manrin stopped her. The white squirrel ran away, and Ikam immediately told the guards to catch it, because she wanted to keep it as a pet. The two princesses ran out to the garden where they met the king and queen. Looking at the white squirrel, the queen felt there was something strange about it. Old man thou recognized immediately that it was a demon squirrel with bad intentions toward the princess, and the shaman also divined that this white squirrel was bad news and would bring disaster. The king ordered old man thou and the hunter to catch that white squirrel and told Ikam to go back to the palace to prepare for the wedding and stop running around. Ikam was worried the white squirrel would be in danger, so she ran after them. She had just left when Fadeng arrived. Realizing Ikam had snuck out of the palace, he hurriedly chased after her. The whole group ran into the forest and was surrounded by snake spirits attacking fiercely. A snake guy lunged at the two princesses trying to bite them, but Fadeng appeared like a god to save the day. The snake spirit Fakin crawled over, blowing smoke and looking for a solo fight, but was immediately hit by Fadeng using the snake suppressing sword. The snake spirit had to tuck his tail and run for his life. Ikam was still attached to the white squirrel and didn't want to go back, so she kept running to look for it. Old man thou was still chasing the white squirrel. By the time Ikam arrived, he had ordered the soldiers to shoot the white squirrel, knocking it unconscious. Fanky's soul slipped out of the white squirrel. Even though he regretted not being with Kamkong in this life, Fanky would still wait for a future life where he could be with her. Ikam and Fadeng returned to the palace. The two said goodbye. Then Fadang went to pick up his mother and lead the groom's procession to pick up the bride. Old man Cam took the white squirrel to butcher it, and strangely, the more he cut, the more meat there was, just like a magic bottomless pot. The whole village ate and ate, but it never ran out. The shaman felt something was weird, but old man thou thought it was normal. Anyway, everyone had already feasted on it. Fakin returned to the underwater palace to report the news to the snake god about Fanky's passing. The snake god was furious and summoned his subordinates to gather and sink the city to avenge Fanky. Sithra asked the snake god to let her lead the brothers to take revenge for her nominal husband. Fadang and the queen mother were preparing to leave when they saw black clouds rolling in, a swarm of snake spirits flooding into the city, followed by a storm and flood. Fadang hurriedly ordered soldiers to take his queen mother home first, while he and Fagawang went to save Ikam's family. The tide rose quickly, and when Fadang arrived, Manran asked him to take Ikam and leave immediately. Manran stayed behind with her parents. She told Ikam she must survive at all costs, and if they escaped the disaster, they would come find her. The army of snake spirits burned everything in the city, and then the tide drowned it all, turning the whole region into a sea of water. Ikam was taken by Fadang to the mountaintop to avoid the water, seeing nothing but vast water below. Just as she was sobbing, the snake goddess Sithra popped up and whacked Fadang, knocking him unconscious. Sithra grabbed Ikam, wanting her to pay the price, so she pushed her into the sea. Sithra also cursed that this land would meet disaster, and souls would be imprisoned forever and never find peace because they feasted on the white squirrel. And that is the legend of Fadang Nong Ai. The land submerged by the rising tide is now called Nong Han Lake. People whisper to each other that those who ate the white squirrel are still wandering under the lake waiting for the day they can be reincarnated and escape their suffering. Grandma finished telling the story just as her mom came to pick Ai up to go back to the city. Even more surprising, this little girl Ai is actually the reincarnation of Ikam. Because Ikam didn't eat the white squirrel, she wasn't cursed, so she was able to be reincarnated. As for Fanky's reincarnation, he is a young boy named Kamsin. When his parents took him to see a monk for a reading, the monk felt that Kamsin had a lot of good merit, but when he reached a fateful age, he would have to pay for his past life's karma. If he wanted to increase his blessings, his only option was to become a monk. Back home, Kamsin ran off to play with his friends, while his mother was very worried about what the monk said. She didn't know if the future would happen like that or not, but she believed his past life was a snake god, because when Kamsin was 5 years old, he could talk to snakes. He wasn't afraid of them, and the snakes even let him touch and pet them. Just as she said that, Kamsin's two friends ran back to report that Kamsin had fallen into the lake. Uncle Thap rushed out to see what was happening. It turns out the souls who held a grudge against Fanky for ruining them had pulled Kamsin underwater. Luckily, Fakin appeared in time to save Kamsin and bring him to shore. Fakin let them see him and told Uncle Thap to take good care of the boy. Uncle Thap intended to turn around to thank him, but when he looked back he didn't see Fakin anymore. Only a snake tail diving into the lake. Worried that Kamsin would be in danger again, Uncle Thap and his wife took Kamsin to the city to entrust him to the monk. Anyway, they were poor and didn't have enough money for Kamsin to go to school. Living in the temple would keep him safe and also allow him to study right there. Every now and then, Kamsin wrote letters home to his parents to let them know he was safe. Time just passed like that, and Kamsin finished his teaching degree and received a proper university diploma. Kamsin told his parents that although he had been a monk for many years, he still couldn't let go of the cycle of karma in his heart. Sometimes when meditating to calm his mind, Kamsin still saw the tide drowning the city in his past life. Kamsin told the monk what he saw about a girl, but her face wasn't clear, and it just kept repeating in his head. Elsewhere, the souls of the king and queen appeared, begging beneath the statue of the snake god to have mercy on them after so many years of cultivation. The snake god said he had also practiced cultivation a lot to pay for the karma he caused. The full moon of the 11th month is coming. The event of the city's destruction is circling back again, and it is time for the wandering souls in Nonghan Lake to be liberated. So the two of them need to find a way to break the curse, making those reincarnated in this life remember who they were in the past life, what karma they created together that must be erased together, and find Ikam and Fadang to return to Nonghan Lake. If they resolve the karma before the full moon of the 11th month, they will be liberated. Otherwise, they will still have to suffer the curse. Somewhere, AI has grown up and now has a face exactly like the two princesses from her past lives. She is currently a writer specializing in documentary reportage. Before, she used to dream about a collapsing city, but ever since she started university, those dreams stopped appearing. After having breakfast with her mom, AI went to an art exhibition. Reaching the gate, she heard singing, so out of curiosity, she went to check it out. It turned out to be the ghost of Manran, who had manifested to sit and sing, hoping to help AI remember her past life memories. While AI was focusing, P jumped out from somewhere, making her jump out of her skin. When she turned back, the two singers were gone, and there was only a scroll on the chair. P thought AI was trying to scare him, so he pulled her inside. Their boss named Dong announced some good news to the whole office. The book about the Ison region in the Northeast they recently published was selling like hotcakes, so he wanted to do another topic about this region, but the boss was contemplating what topic to choose. Mandarin appeared once again and whispered the topic of legends into the boss's ear. Then the boss saw the piece of paper AI brought in. Opening it up, he saw a painting with the words Fadang Nong AI. Hearing AI give a brief overview of the Fadang Nong AI legend, the boss was very interested, so he decided right then and there that the next volume would be about this topic, assigning AI and P to research information. AI took the opportunity to go to the library to find documents. She climbed a ladder to get something and carelessly slipped and almost fell. But a guy with a face exactly like Fadang caught her. The guy introduced himself as Corrugate, saying he saw her clumsily pulling the ladder earlier and knew she was bound to fall. AI felt that Cor looked very familiar, and Cor teased her, asking if she used this old-school flirting method to hit on him. Cor was just joking, but it almost made AI mad. Luckily, he apologized in time, so he still managed to get her name. Seeing AI drop something, Cor chased after her to return it, but couldn't find her anywhere. Mandarin's spirit saw that the two of them had finally met and breathed a sigh of relief. Fadang had accumulated a lot of merit in his past life, so in this life he was reincarnated into a family that had nothing but money, and his mother was also reincarnated, so in this life, they are still mother and son. Ever since bringing the painting home and opening it, Cor dreamed about Princess Ikam, but the young man thought he was just impressed by AI, so he was dreaming nonsense. As for AI, she also dreamed about Prince Fadang, who had Cor's face, and thought she was bringing someone else's face into her dreams. Elsewhere, Kamsin had just returned to secular life and got a job as a teacher at the village school. Seeing him return, his parents were very happy, although they still wished Cam would pay off all his karma in the temple because they were afraid the prophecy would come true. But they still supported Cam's decision to return to secular life. As for Cam, he felt that if he had contributed to causing any disaster in his past life, he was still ready to make amends in this life, plus he had been a monk since childhood, so the merit he accumulated must have lightened his karma somewhat. The next day, his parents went with Cam to the temple for a ceremony, meeting the villagers there. Everyone praised Cam for being handsome and tall. Knowing he was a teacher for the village kids, everyone was even happier. His parents stayed back to talk with some neighbors, so Cam went inside first. He saw a cobra in there. Cam gently shooed the snake away, and it slithered off immediately. Seeing a pile of books knocked over, Cam hurriedly tidied them up. Seeing the novel Fadang Nong AI, Cam picked it up to read, and suddenly a few memories from his past life appeared, startling him. Outside, a solar eclipse was happening, and the villagers went into the main hall together to pray for good luck. Behind the temple, two thugs named Som and Kam dragged their gang into the small shrine to swipe a Buddha statue to sell. Magically, Cam saw it in his mind again, so he went out to check and caught them running out. Cam told them to return the item immediately. Som, relying on his dad being the village chief, wasn't afraid of anyone, and since their numbers were currently greater than Cam's, the whole gang rushed in to jump him. Luckily Cam knew a bit of martial arts, so he could still hold his own. Som got salty and pulled out a weapon to struggle with Cam. Being outnumbered, Cam got beaten up pretty badly by them. Uncle Thap waited forever and didn't see his son come back, so he ran out to look. Seeing Cam being jumped, he ran over to rescue him, and because of that, he was knocked unconscious by them. Som not only didn't feel sorry but also threw shade, making Cam furious with his eyes turning red. And Cam's mom ran out to stop him from fighting with them. Scared that Cam would call the police, Som took a gamble to shoot him, but unexpectedly almost hit Cam's mom instead. Human patience has its limits. The anger inside Cam combined with the solar eclipse caused him to reveal his true form as a snake god, rushing towards Som's group to teach them a lesson. One by one, Cam dealt with them, and when it was Som and Kam's turn, the monk ran out to stop Cam, advising him not to create more bad karma, and to spare them out of respect for him. Hearing that, Cam calmed down and slithered away. The solar eclipse ended, and the villagers ran out to see the gangsters lying all over the place. Uncle Thap woke up and asked his wife where Cam was, but she didn't dare tell him everything that had just happened. She lied that when she ran out, she didn't see Cam anywhere anymore. Down in the underwater palace, Sithra also found out about this transformation. From now on, every full moon, the snake god's soul will rise to create bad karma everywhere, damaging the merit Cam has accumulated for so many years, and when it runs out, Fanky will return. Sithra is looking forward to that day so Fanky can return to her side. Once she has made up her mind, no one can stop her from bringing Fanky back. Back at the temple area, the police were present to investigate, hearing the villagers say a snake god caused it. Looking at the tracks left on the ground, a young lieutenant named Fu, who had a face like Fagawang, thought it was just a big snake because he didn't believe there were snake gods in the world. That night, Cam woke up by the riverbank. He used all his strength to walk to a small shrine worshipping a snake god statue and then passed out cold. When he woke up, someone told Cam that this was a shrine worshipping the king of snake gods, and besides that, there was the king, who appeared in spirit disguised as Uncle San, recounting that back when the city was submerged, he was lucky to escape. So he came to this region to clear the land and built this shrine. Uncle San said they shared karma from a past life, which is why they were meeting now. Cam also felt that Uncle San looked very familiar. Uncle San told Cam to go back to the temple first because whatever happened there would definitely bring trouble for Cam. This moment, the villagers and the monk were performing a ceremony for the two unlucky young men. Village chief Sak brought his son over to offer condolences but was blamed by the villagers, saying that because the two of them were troublemakers, things turned out this way. The village chief even defended his son, saying his family was rich so they didn't need to steal antiques. Just then, Cam and Uncle Thap arrived to testify. But Sam and Kam still argued loudly that they only came to stop it, not to be accomplices. The lieutenant came to take Sam and Kam to the station to get their statements, and the village chief raised his voice, asking him if he knew who he was. The lieutenant knew vaguely, but this was something that had to be done, telling him that if Sam and Kam didn't do it, there was nothing to be afraid of. Uncle Thap and Cam went home, and his mother had been worried all night. Cam didn't remember what happened last night, but his parents advised him not to think too much about it, saying it was lucky he was safe. Elsewhere, Cor called the phone number on the business card that AI dropped, calling the newsroom to ask her to meet at the library so he could return her things. P was curious, so he insisted on tagging along with AI. After admiring Cor's looks, P gave the young couple some space, and Cor returned the painting to AI. Coincidentally, Cor was also a journalist reporting on the Fadeng Nong AI legend. After talking, Cor went to his father's newsroom to accept a job. Seeing everyone meeting about the antique theft and the snake god appearing in Nong Han, Cor was quite interested, so he asked the editor-in-chief to let him take this case. Cor's father didn't agree, because he brought Cor there to get used to the work and become a manager later, not to come work as a reporter. Cor begged his father to let him go, considering it a way to prove he got in there by his own ability and not through the back door. After work, Cor went to meet AI and showed her some photos of the snake god that his newsroom had captured. He also bragged that he was going to Nong Han soon to hunt for news, which was quite a coincidence since AI was also preparing to go there. This was definitely fate. Cor asked AI to go with him but she refused, saying that since they would meet there anyway it was better to just go separately. Manrin was very happy seeing that both of them would go to Nong Han. If AI went there, the chances of remembering her past life were very high, and as long as she remembered and paid her karmic debt, Manrin and the other souls would be freed from Nong Han Lake. The next day, his mom called Cor up to her office to see her. She kept a snake-suppressing knife passed down from previous generations, and knowing Cor was going to work in Nong Han, she was afraid he would be in danger, so she gave it to him to carry as a protective charm. That region was famous for the snake god incidents anyway, so bringing it along was good to give his parents peace of mind. Cor didn't really believe it but took it along anyway. Meanwhile, Cam followed his dad to see the monk, who gave Cam an amulet and warned him that from now on he would face many upheavals, so he must have faith in Buddha and not let anger control him. After that, Cam went to the school to report for duty. On the way, Cam met a strange girl. It turned out to be Sithra disguised as a girl from a good family, coming here to awaken the memories of Fanky inside Cam. She told Cam that they had met before, but perhaps it had been so long that Cam didn't remember anymore. If he wanted to know what this was about, he should follow her. Curious, Cam followed Sithra to the riverbank. She was about to pull Cam into the water when Fakin appeared and pushed Cam away, telling him not to go near the water, then dragged Sithra back to the underwater palace. Fakin told Sithra to stop messing with Fanky because it was so hard for him to be reincarnated as a human, but Sithra wouldn't listen, determined to make Fanky turn back into a snake god. Over at AI's place, she was heading to her car when a swarm of snakes crawled over and attacked her relentlessly. Luckily Cor arrived in time to help her chase the snakes away. Seeing Cor holding the divine knife, the snakes ran for their lives. It turned out to be Puchong, Sithra's servant, who called them to harm AI. Manrin knew this and brought out a snake spirit trap to chase him away. The next day, AI and P drove to the Nong Han region. AI asked some villagers for directions, and they advised her to wait until morning to go because Nong Han Lake was ahead, rumored to be haunted, and surrounded by dangerous jungle. AI was scared too, but the principal had someone waiting to pick her up, and afraid to keep them waiting long, she took the risk and continued. Sithra saw her and immediately recognized her as Icam. She would never let AI return to Nong Han Lake, so she sent a snake to block AI's car, causing her to lose control and crash into a tree. AI stumbled out of the car, and Sithra immediately appeared to scare her, telling her to go back home and not go any further. AI didn't understand what she was saying and was so scared she covered her eyes. When she opened her eyes, she saw Cam. He said the principal sent him to pick her up, and after waiting forever without seeing her arrive, he and Bon went looking. Bon told her and P to move their luggage to his car to go to the school first, and leave her car here to come back and fix it tomorrow. Sithra was furious seeing Cam go with AI. She had waited so long without moving Fanky, so she was determined to find any way to make Fanky stop thinking about Princess Cam. Cam took AI and P to the accommodation he had prepared. Cam kept feeling something very strange when looking at AI, like he had met her before but couldn't remember. After saying goodbye, Cam and Bon went home. As soon as they entered the yard, they met Sam and Cam. These two had just been bailed out and came looking for revenge. They rushed in to physically attack Cam and Bon relentlessly. Cam's patience was tested again. His eyes turned red as if transforming into someone else, and he retaliated coolly, hitting Sam without missing a beat. The gang was so scared they dragged each other away to flee. Cam also didn't know why he lost control like that. Back home, his mom was very worried because Cam came back so late. She intended to tell her husband about Cam turning into a snake god, but the words got stuck in her throat and she couldn't say them. Late that night, AI was sleeping when she heard someone calling her. She went out to check and saw it was Cam, but it wasn't Cam. It was a pitch-black ghost that grabbed her and manipulated her into following it. This ghost guy even called his gang from under Nonghan Lake to take AI away. But luckily the king arrived in time to chase this group back to the lake. AI groggily woke up and saw Manrin and the king. Then the king cast a spell to make her fall asleep. A while later, AI woke up finding herself in bed. She doubted her own existence, looking around and thinking she must have been dreaming. As for the king, he went to the side of Nonghan Lake, telling the spirits there that Cam, Fadeng, and Fanky had arrived. The day of their liberation was coming, and they wouldn't have to live as wandering ghosts anymore. The next morning, Kor arrived and went to find Lieutenant Fu, his best friend, to chat for a bit and also asked to crash at his place for a few days. A subordinate ran over to tell Fu there were new traces of the snake god. Hearing this sounded interesting, Kor asked to tag along. They drove to the spot where AI and P had their accident last night, and it turned out there were traces like a snake crawling on AI's car. Besides that, there were also tracks on the ground leading towards the lake. Seeing villagers praying, Kor went over to ask for an interview. They all believed the snake god was real, so seeing traces here, they rushed over to ask for lottery numbers immediately. Meanwhile, Cam and Bon arrived to pick AI up to get her car fixed. AI clumsily slipped and fell, but Cam caught her, making both of them blush with embarrassment. Driving to the spot, AI then noticed the strange marks on her car. AI recounted to Fu that while driving last night, a snake crawled over, startling her into swerving and crashing into the roadside. AI remembered meeting a woman who appeared and disappeared, telling her to go back quickly. She wasn't sure though, maybe she was too tired and imagined it. Cam thought maybe it was real because this region was famous for spiritual mysteries, and the villagers were used to it. Kor finished his interview and walked over to meet AI, feeling secretly happy to see her here. After saying hello, Bon helped AI tow the car for repairs, while Fu looked around for clues. AI introduced Kor to Cam. True to being eternal rivals, even meeting in a new life, they still couldn't get along. Kor believed the snake god wasn't real, while Cam felt it was a matter of belief, and city people like Kor would find it hard to believe. Seeing the tension, P told the two guys to put this issue aside for now and help tow AI's car up first. Cam went to lend Bon a hand, and AI gently scolded Kor for speaking so aggressively to Cam. Kor was like, "I'm just speaking the truth," and claimed he was trying to be friendly with Cam, but Cam just took it the wrong way. Meanwhile, at Fu's location, Manrin saw him walking by the lake, and memories of their past life flooded her mind. Fu saw Manrin's shadow and ran over to her. Manrin couldn't hide her emotions, confusing Fu because she kept calling him Fagoang. Manrin hurriedly explained that Fagoang was her lover who had a face like his. Manrin hoped Fagoang would soon remember the memories between them. Just as she finished speaking, she vanished, leaving Fu even more bewildered. Manrin returned home and sat crying alone. Her mother comforted her, saying that even though she loved Fagoang, she had to accept that they lived in two different worlds, belonging to two different realms, and couldn't be together anymore. Back with AI, she was taken home by Kor. Kor felt the teacher's housing area where AI was staying didn't look very safe. AI felt it was normal having P with her. And besides, Cam sometimes came over so it would be fine. AI planned to go look for information for her report, and Kor offered to go with her. Hearing that, P excitedly pushed AI towards Kor, while asking for time off to stay home and enjoy life. The two were about to leave when Cam brought food over. AI invited Kor to stay and eat before leaving, but Kor flatly refused Cam's food, saying Cam should eat with P, and he and AI would go out to eat later. AI felt a bit awkward, said goodbye to Cam, and got in the car to leave with Kor. On the way home, Cam met Sithra again. She tried to manipulate Cam but was zapped by the amulet Cam was wearing, almost losing her headlights. Just then Bon called, so Cam ran over to see what he needed. Turning back, Sithra was nowhere to be seen, only a snake trail slithering on the ground towards the lake. Cam went to the temple and heard his dad say the village chief brought a shaman named Kong to perform a ceremony to summon the snake god. And the villagers believed it completely, gathering to watch. Meanwhile, Sithra had a new plan. She wanted Fanky to awaken, harm many people to drain his merit. And when that happened, he would reveal his true form as a snake god. She couldn't let Fanky live as a human. Back with Cam. This shaman didn't know what trick he pulled but managed to summon a snake, then gently shoot it away, making the villagers believe he was the real deal. So they competed to give him money. Cam and his father were frustrated because he was scamming the villagers, so they ran over to reason with him. During the argument, Cam's eyes turned red again, and with just one shout, he made the shaman fall flat on his face. He was salty as heck and blamed Cam for insulting the snake god, causing Lord Fanky to leave. A moment later, the village chief arrived, and Sam tattled to him that Cam had interfered with Master Kong's ritual. The village chief said that Master Kong was the only person the snake god's spirit could possess. If news spread widely, everyone would flock to worship, and they would have money to build a more magnificent village temple. The villagers were convinced immediately, supporting the village chief wholeheartedly. And Cam and his father couldn't argue with them, so they left without further debate. Master Kong kept feeling that Cam wasn't a normal person, that there was something very strange about him. He told the village chief he must stop Cam from interfering with their rituals or there would be big trouble. Cam and his father went to talk to the monk. Uncle Thap felt that the village chief and that shaman had dark intentions. Because under this temple there were many unexcavated antiques. If they touched the temple, they would surely sell everything. Cam didn't want that to happen. So he was determined to protect the temple. Over at AI's, she and Kor went to visit the ancient temple. The two met Manrin sitting and singing about the curse of the snake god at Nonghan Lake. So they stood and listened for a while. After she finished singing, the king, playing the role of Uncle San, came out. AI felt they looked very familiar. Uncle San said he and his daughter had lived here for a long time, waiting forever for AI and Kor to come to this place. When AI asked why he was waiting for her, he didn't say. In the evening, Kor took AI back to the teacher's housing. Kor was about to say something when P called, so AI said goodbye to him and went upstairs to rest. Late at night while sitting in the breeze, P told AI she was very charming, making Kor infatuated with her while Cam was also interested in her at the same time. AI was so shy she changed the subject to watching the moon to ease the awkwardness. Elsewhere, Fu was sitting reviewing the photos of the snake god's traces when he saw in a corner that Manrin was wearing very strange clothes, different from when he saw her. So Fu ran out to the area by the lake to find Manrin. Meeting her, Fu immediately asked about the question in his head regarding her different clothes at the same time. Manrin led Fu to the lakeside. It turned out this wasn't Manrin but a black water ghost guy. He wanted Fagoing to pay for the past. So he manipulated Fu into jumping into the lake to join him as an accomplice. Luckily Manrin appeared in time to pull Fu ashore. Manrin used the flower on her head to chase the black water ghost guy back into the lake and then woke Fu up. Manrin helped him leave first, said a few words of goodbye, and then they went their separate ways. Fu turned his head to leave but when he looked back, he didn't see Manrin anymore. Feeling it was strange, Fu went home and told Kor what had just happened, saying he didn't believe in spiritual matters but after encountering it, he saw it was possible. Elsewhere, the village chief and old man Kong were celebrating because pretending to be possessed by the snake god had scammed the villagers out of a huge sum of money. It turned out this shaman had a bit of snake charming skill, so he could summon that python. The village chief's ultimate goal was indeed the buried treasure of the submerged city under the village temple mentioned in the Fadang Nong AI legend. It's just that now Cam and his father were close to the monk, and the villagers also respected that monk quite a lot, fearing they would be obstacles. Master Kong already had a plan for this. He sent his henchman Det, using the snake charming skill he passed down, to go practice and gain experience. Very quickly, the night of the full moon arrived, and Cam's temper became hotter than usual. To make matters worse, Det ran over and called a few king cobras to crawl into Cam's house, right when the vitality inside Cam was overflowing. Hearing his parents scream, Cam woke up and rushed out to check, only to see his parents' room full of snakes. Cam spoke up, telling them to leave immediately. Just as the snakes crawled out, Det forced them to turn back. One snake lunged to attack Cam's family, but Cam grabbed it. His eyes turned red, and his whole body heated up. Cam hurriedly ran outside. Uncle Thap intended to chase after him, but his wife held him back. As soon as Cam got down to the yard, Sam rushed at him. During the struggle, Cam's amulet broke and fell off. He didn't want to mess with this group, but they kept swarming like ants. Cam pushed them away and ran off. Det saw scales growing on Cam's body and immediately chased after him to catch him. He took out a handful of red powder and threw it at Cam, causing him stinging pain. The snake god's patience has limits. Cam was about to rush in to fight them when luckily Fakin appeared. He told Cam to go to the Snake King's shrine quickly and let him handle things here. Fakine revealed his true form to deal with these two small fries and teach them a lesson. Cam used all his remaining strength to run to the shrine to ask Uncle San for help. Uncle San told Cam he must stay extremely calm to suppress the snake god consciousness rising within him. Cythera saw that someone dared to interfere with her plans, so she ran to the shrine and told Cam that he was indeed the snake god Fanky, and if he didn't believe it, he should follow her down to the underwater palace. She tried to go in and drag Cam away but was hit by a few of Uncle Sen's palm strikes and had to tuck her tail and leave. A new day arrived. AI was having breakfast when Kor ran over to report that the snake god had appeared again. Meanwhile, Som was tattling to his father and Master Kong that Det was killed by Cam, inciting him to take revenge. Uncle Thap and a few villagers came to check. He explained that last night Det and Som came to cause trouble, and Cam only defended himself and definitely didn't cause this. Master Kong didn't believe it, insisting that Cam was the culprit. A while later, the police arrived to investigate. A guy named Dit who went with Det wasn't killed but was so scared he started stuttering. Fu asked him what actually happened, and he stuttered out that a snake god sent Det to meet his maker. Som spoke up, pinning all the blame on Cam because last time Cam had argued with Master Kong during the ritual. Cam's mother defended her son and suddenly had a hypertension attack. AI arrived just then, saw this and ran over to support her, helping everyone take her home to rest. Fu also followed to take statements, and Uncle Thap recounted the snake-throwing incident from last night. The snakes were still in the room, and Cam had gone into hiding and hadn't been seen since. Everyone planned to go look for Cam, so AI asked to join, leaving P behind to help Bon look after Cam's mom. AI and Kor were guided by Mandarin to the shrine, going inside and seeing the statue of the Snake King. AI and Kor bowed a few times. For some reason, the more she looked at the statue, the more tears welled up in AI's eyes. First Mandarin said strange words, then Uncle Sun, leaving AI completely confused. Uncle Sun led the two of them to meet Cam, who was lying in the back. Kor recounted that last night a group of people came to cause trouble near Cam's house. One guy was killed, and another was scared out of his wits. On the other side, Master Kong still believed Cam caused it, so he went looking for him to take revenge. He summoned a spirit to show the way to the shrine. Som loudly called for Cam to come out and face him. Uncle San knew this group didn't come with good intentions, so he advised Cam not to go out and let him send someone to talk to them first. Som called until his throat was dry without seeing anyone, and was about to go in when two soldiers came out to stop him. Master Kong knew they weren't human. He took out a bottle of black dog's tears and told the group to smear it on their eyes to see clearly. Old Kong summoned a squad of ragtag ghosts to duel with them, but it had no effect, so he had to step in himself. Before he could do anything, Mandarin appeared, knocked him flat on his back, and then took her people back to the shrine. Cam didn't want to hide anymore, so he went outside. AI and Kor spoke up for Cam, but the village chief wasn't afraid, plus his son was acting tough, demanding to take Cam away no matter what. Fakine, standing outside watching everything, couldn't stand by and watch Cam be captured, so he revealed his true form to block their path. Fakine made a few moves to make them release Cam, but the shaman used his old trick, throwing a handful of red seeds to control Fakine, then threw a golden headband around his neck, freezing him in place. Luckily Cam stopped the shaman, giving Fakine a chance to escape. The village chief also wanted to join the fun and rushed at Cam. Suddenly Kor ran over to block the hit. AI used a stick to whack him hard, plus Fu arrived in time, so the village chief's group had to scram. Cam ran to find Fakine and found him sitting behind a tree struggling with the headband. Cam realized Fakine had helped him last night, so he pulled the headband off for him. Fakine told Cam that soon he would remember he was the snake god Fanky, leaving Cam stunned and falling over backwards. Uncle Thap ran to find Cam, but after looking around, Cam couldn't find Fakine anywhere. The father and son returned home. His mother had been worried for days, afraid that something would happen again, so she advised him to return to the temple to become a monk. Cam didn't want to go back to the temple yet. There were still many uncertainties in his heart that were close to being answered, and he couldn't give up. Cam told his parents not to worry too much, that he would find the truth and tell them later. Meanwhile, AI was sitting thinking about her life when she saw Cam coming to find her. He told her to go back, that this place wasn't safe for her. He didn't know why. Since meeting AI, Cam always thought of her. His heart felt like it was waiting for something, and today he knew what he had been waiting for was AI, so he didn't want her to be in danger. Just as he finished speaking, Cythera appeared. She wanted Cam to remember his past life, wanted Princess Cam to know he was a snake god to separate them, basically to drag Cam back to the underwater palace to be by her side. Somehow Cythera made Cam and AI transform into the snake god Fanky and Princess Camkong. She intended to drag Camkong away, but Cam held her back. While the three of them were struggling, AI woke up. It turned out it was just a dream. P saw AI tossing and turning at the head of the bed, so she woke her up. She ran outside but saw nothing. AI told P that she had a nightmare, but it felt very real. P thought AI was just paranoid and imagining things. The next morning, AI was still thinking about the dream last night. She remembered the woman she met in the dream had appeared when they drove to the village and had an accident at the edge of the forest. Besides, since arriving here, AI felt everything was extremely familiar, like returning home. AI suspected she was related to the Fadeng Nong AI legend, maybe even Princess Ikam. P listened stunned. Just then Kor came looking. P ran inside to make coffee. Kor came to show AI the newspaper. There was another incident of a snake god appearing and harming people in the forest near Nonghan Lake. A while later, Bon brought some food Cam's parents prepared for AI and P to thank them for helping find Cam. Seeing the villagers calling Bon to go see the Fanky snake god medium at the temple, Kor was a bit puzzled. So Bon explained that Master Kong was performing a ritual to invite the snake god to possess him again. And the villagers were rushing to ask for lottery numbers and charms. Curious, AI and Kor went to the temple to check it out. And Kor took the opportunity to snap a few photos for work. Master Kong started his work, and the villagers buzzed with discussion, believing every word. Meanwhile, Cam was sitting at work at the school when he heard Master Kong's voice reciting scriptures, making him feel dizzy. In his mind, he saw the scene at the temple and was extremely angry knowing the shaman was using Fanky's name for personal gain. Back at the temple, suddenly a spirit possessed an old uncle. The uncle immediately stood up, ran to AI, and grabbed her like grabbing a chicken by the neck. Luckily Kor was strong enough to push the uncle away. Master Kong saw the uncle was possessed, so he told people to hold him down. He intended to use this opportunity to make the villagers revere him more. So Master Kong performed a little ritual to drive the spirit out of the uncle. A moment later, the uncle woke up normal, and the villagers gasped. Believing even more that the snake god had possessed Master Kong, Cam ran over to argue with Master Kong, telling him to stop impersonating the snake god Fanky to deceive the villagers. The village chief sent his henchmen to teach Cam a lesson, but they were handled beautifully by Cam in a split second. Master Kong used his stick to poke Cam once, then whacked him 2 more times, but it had no effect. He was still kicked flat on his back by Cam. Cam was about to bonk him on the head when AI ran over to stop him. Cam gently reminded Master Kong not to use the snake god's reputation to deceive people for money anymore, or else he'd be in big trouble, and then left. Both AI and Kor felt Cam seemed strange. Cam returned home to find Fu waiting in the yard with questions. Fu had investigated Cam's background. It was very clean, but unfortunately, recent cases were all related to Cam, like the antique theft at the temple where 2 lives were lost. Cam was at the scene and then disappeared. The case of Det dying in the forest was also because he attacked Cam, and then Cam disappeared again. Fu wanted to know where exactly Cam had gone. If he knew anything, he should tell Fu. Cam replied he only wanted to protect his parents from danger, but he couldn't fight them off, so he had to run away. And as for who caused these incidents, Cam really couldn't answer. Fu went to the snake god shrine. He intended to just stand outside, but unexpectedly the door opened by itself, so he went in. Inside, Fu saw Manrin dressed in traditional clothes dancing. As soon as the music ended, he saw Manrin in normal clothes again. Manrin said he was mistaken, that she was still wearing this outfit to dance and offer to the Snake King statue. Maybe what he saw was an illusion from the past that the Snake King wanted him to see. Fu asked if Manrin believed the Snake King was real. She smiled and replied that it might be hard for people today to believe, but Manrin believed the Snake King had powerful strength, protecting the water flow so everyone could live in peace. The villagers also believed this, so they frequently came to worship and pray. But if Fu came to ask if she knew who caused those cases, she could only answer that it was karma that the bad people had to bear. Before long, Fu would know the whole truth. In his past life, he was a warrior who always stayed by and protected Prince Fadeng, while Manrin was the one protecting Princess Ikam. This statement from Manrin made a few images from his past life appear in Fu's mind, but in the blink of an eye, Manrin had vanished. Fu ran home and told Kor what had just happened. What Fu saw was frighteningly realistic, and he even saw Kor, who was Prince Fadeng at that time. Kor reflected that since meeting AI, his life had revolved around the Fadeng Nong AI story. Coming to this Nonghan region, everything related to Prince Fadeng, Princess Ikam, and the snake god Fanky. Now that Fu said that, Kor started to believe he really was Prince Fadeng, and there was something pulling him to this place. As for Cam, he went to the temple to see the monk, who repeated the words he had said to Cam when he was small. Cam was about to enter the stage of paying off karma. If he went in the right direction, he would escape all suffering, but if he chose the dark side, Cam's life would be trapped in a vicious cycle with no way out. The monk wanted Cam to be extremely calm and guard against the snake god's soul rising stronger to control him. The monk only revealed that much. The rest of the truth Cam would one day discover for himself. This time, Master Kong's group was gossiping about Cam. He felt Cam was not someone to be trifled with. While they were chatting animatedly, Sithra came to find them. She said she specialized in buying antiques but knew clearly the names of each person among them. Master Kong turned on his divine eye mode to scan around but saw nothing unusual, so he felt reassured to continue talking. It turned out Cythera and her servant were wearing amulets to hide their aura, so the old man didn't detect their true identities. Cythera said she had just done some research before coming to meet them to put their minds at ease. Cythera brought out a treasure map of the ancient city. Before it collapsed, the king, heeding a prophecy, had people hide all the treasures in an underground vault. Rumor had it there were lots of gems, jewelry, and pure gold in large quantities. If the village chief dug it up, they would split it 50-50 or he could take it all, and she would cover all expenses. Cythera's goal was to get the precious gem created from the syrup of the white squirrel that Fanky transformed into. Cythera gave them some precious jewelry as an advance payment. The village chief didn't refuse and accepted the deal immediately. Cythera knew this group could help awaken Fanky's power, so she used the treasure as bait. When the time came, the snake god's soul wouldn't be able to stand it and would appear to stop them. The more karma Fanky created, the weaker his merit would become, and he wouldn't be able to continue being human, only able to return to the underwater palace to live with her. And if Fanky knew that Icam was the reason humans treated him badly, they would break off completely, and she would have Fanky's heart. At the deity shrine, the king called the Snake King up to ask what to do next. The Snake King said he knew that only when Fanky, Fadang, and Icam realized the karma they caused and repented before the full moon of the 11th month would the curse be broken, and the king and the spirits would be liberated. There were only 2 months left. Manrin feared that if AI remembered the past, she would be in great pain. The most worrying thing was if Fanky knew he was hunted by hunters who then feasted on the white squirrel. He would resent the villagers in the city and refuse to liberate them. That night, AI was sitting thinking about America when Cam came over to hang out. While sitting and talking about the snake god Fanky, Cam's expression became a bit wrong. He turned his face away and said the snake god Fanky never intended to harm Princess Icam. His eyes turned bright red, his temper became shorter, and grabbing her shoulders, he continued, saying Fanky left the underwater palace to find Icam to let her know she was Princess Camkong, his beloved wife. Cam hugged AI, repeatedly calling her Icam. AI was so scared she pushed him away and gave him a slap to calm him down. Cam quickly apologized to AI and then ran away. Late at night, Cam had a nightmare seeing himself in the underwater palace, with Cythera constantly saying he was Fanky, making Cam startle awake, panting like a dog. Cam went outside to sit and breathe some fresh air to clear his mind. His father saw this and sat down to have a heart-to-heart talk for a while. Cam wanted to tell him about being a snake god but didn't dare to say it. The father and son sat together for a bit and then went inside to sleep. Uncle Thap was shocked when he accidentally saw Cam's shadow on the ground in the shape of a snake. The next morning, AI arrived at the school and saw Cam acting normal, teaching the children, even though he had become strangely hot-tempered the night before. After finishing teaching, Cam went to meet AI to apologize to her again. AI asked him why he mentioned Princess Icam and Princess Camkong that night. Cam just kept saying he was Cam, not Fanky, and then turned to leave. He went to the banks of Nonghan Lake, intending to breathe some fresh air, but met Cythera again. She once more brought up old stories to manipulate Fanky's soul into rising. Cam was too tired and told her to stop saying these words and left. Fakin saw Cythera's plan fail, so he appeared and smirked, advising Cythera to give up. If Fanky knew the truth, it wouldn't be what she wanted. Conversely, she should examine herself, as it was she who created the curse that prevented the villagers from being liberated. Cythera would never admit she was wrong, still blindly obsessed with finding every way to bring Fanky back to her side. As for AI, she still felt there was something strange about Cam, so she asked Bond to take her to the snake god shrine. He tagged along and tried to stop AI but couldn't. She was determined to go inside to find Uncle San and Manrin. She saw Manrin standing outside the back door saying that her father didn't come here today, and if she wanted to meet him, she should follow her home. But there was something strange about this Manrin. AI, unsuspecting, followed Manrin into the forest. Suddenly, a black water ghost guy jumped out to attack her. Luckily, the real Manrin arrived in time to save AI and take her home. When AI woke up, she realized she had been lured out of the shrine by a ghost disguised as Manrin. Manrin invited AI into the house to meet her mother, who had been longing to see AI for a long time. Seeing her sitting in front of her, she couldn't hold back her tears. Afraid she would be suspicious, the queen said she also had a daughter like AI who left home a long time ago. AI said if they considered her like a child or grandchild in the house, she would be very happy about that. The queen wanted AI to stay, but fearing her friends would worry, she decided against it. AI told them she was looking for information about the Fadang Nong AI legend but lacked information, so she came to the shrine to find Uncle San for help. Uncle San told AI about the city sinking deep underwater, and the curse under Nonghan Lake. Manrin felt that no one was at fault in this story. Icam didn't recognize Fanky from their first meeting. Fadang just wholeheartedly loved Princess Icam, and the snake god Fanky, because of his love for Cam, disobeyed his father's orders to go to the human world and ended up being shot by a hunter. The king of snake gods was furious and ordered his subordinates to sink the city, and those who feasted on the white squirrel got entangled in the curse. It wasn't entirely anyone's fault. AI mentioned that recently she kept imagining herself wearing traditional princess clothes, making her suspect she might be Princess Cam, but she wasn't sure. She also wanted to know if Cam was Fanky reincarnated or not. P and Bon looked for AI everywhere. Finding her bracelet dropped in the middle of the forest. Core and Fu went to the house looking for them, and knowing they went to the shrine, they stopped by too. Hearing P say AI had disappeared, they split up to search the entire forest, calling until they were hoarse but didn't hear AI answer, so they split up to search further. Fu and Core found Manrin's house and were led by a servant to where AI was talking with Uncle Senator the Queen. Seeing Fadeng again, blurted out that she was very happy to see him again, leaving Core and Fu bewildered, unable to recall when they had ever met. Manrin explained that the two of them had faces resembling someone her mother had seen in a dream, allowing them to relax their facial muscles. It was getting late, so everyone said goodbye. Uncle Sen gave AI a bracelet that could ward off poisonous snakes and demons, wanting AI to wear it for self-protection. After much persuasion, AI finally accepted it. Core helped put the bracelet on her, and then everyone dispersed. On the way back, Core told AI to remember to tell him next time she went somewhere. If possible, let him pick her up and drop her off instead of going alone like that, which made everyone worry about her. Manrin walked them to the edge of the forest, and then everyone went home. A new day arrived. AI woke up early and joined P to do volunteer work with the villagers. Knowing she came to learn about the Fadeng Nong AI legend, all the villagers warned her to be careful about ghosts and the snake god. Around here, rumor had it that if anyone wanted to learn about the legend, they had to bow and pray to the statue of the king along with the people who were submerged under the ancient city. To be sure, AI should just go to the temple to offer prayers. AI also wanted to visit that temple, so she asked Bon to take her, not expecting to meet Core there. P and Bon didn't want to be third wheels hindering the young couple, so they gave them some space. AI and Core walked around the temple together and met the monk. He said he and the people of the ancient city had been waiting for both of them for a long time. The monk knew that surely both of them had met a few people who greeted them as Prince Fadeng and Princess Cam. If they wanted to know the truth, they could ask him anything they wondered about. The monk brought out a wooden box. Inside was a palm leaf manuscript kept at the temple for ages, recording the entire Fadeng Nong AI legend most accurately, and the love story of the snake god Fanky. The monk confirmed that AI was the reincarnation of Princess Cam. Although she had reincarnated, she was still entangled with the past, and this palm leaf manuscript would help her remember everything. After knowing the situation clearly, the two would know what to do next. The monk helped AI and Core absorb the book faster than sitting and reading each page, with every detail clear, and images and sounds realistic. Regaining her memories, AI blamed herself for causing everything, but Core helped boost her spirits. The monk told both of them they must find every way to make Fanky let go of love, hatred and resentment. Fanky reincarnated as Cam Sin. His life force was running out, and his accumulated merit was almost depleted. When his merit ran out completely, Cam would turn into a snake god. At that time, Fanky would know he was feasted upon by humans, and perhaps it would be hard for him to let go of his hatred. If AI and Core wanted to break the curse and protect the souls of their loved ones, they had to keep Fanky safe until the upcoming anniversary of the city's collapse turning into Nong Han. The monk only knew that much. As for how to break the curse, the three of them had to figure it out themselves, and the monk would also help look. Core was afraid AI's family had their own suffering, so they hid it and didn't tell her the past from the beginning, so they agreed to pretend they didn't know anything and behave normally so they wouldn't worry. He would solve everything with her, fighting alongside her to the very end. Elsewhere, Cam was at the Snake God Shrine asking for the Snake King's grace to protect him from this calamity. He said he didn't want to become a snake again. He just wanted to be a normal person. Uncle San came out to confide in Cam that only he could help the people of the ancient city be liberated. He advised Cam that no matter what happened, he must remain very calm and not harm anyone. If he did bad things, it would cause the merit he had accumulated for so long to dissipate faster. AI's place. She sat looking at the ancient book. She wanted to know who created the curse to find a way to break it, but it was all in ancient script so she couldn't read it. Suddenly the book lit up and let her know that Sithra was the author of that terrible curse. Elsewhere, Sam was carrying out the dark plot of the villain faction, manipulating people into buying snake god statues for good luck. He called on people to come to tomorrow's ceremony in huge numbers. Master Kong had ordered a large quantity of fake statues from a craftsman. Surely tomorrow the villagers would flock to buy them, and they just needed to sell them at sky-high prices to make a huge profit, enough to spend freely. While they were happy with their get-rich scheme, Sithra came to join the fun, gently reminding them to be careful or Cam would interfere with this business again. Sithra told them that Cam wasn't a normal person. If they wanted to know who caused those incidents and what kind of creature Cam was, they just had to trick him into revealing his true form. The next morning, the consecration ceremony still took place, and people flocked there like a festival. The monk and Uncle Thap couldn't intervene because the villagers were very aggressive, plus that guy Sam kept eloquently saying he was doing good things for the temple. People came to make many donations, so later they would have money to rebuild a magnificent, super large temple. He even said if the monk didn't want to participate, he should stay out of it and not interfere, otherwise he should prepare to move the temple. While he was cursing smoothly, Cam arrived to speak up for the monk and his father. If Uncle Thap hadn't stopped him, Cam would have given Sam a lesson he'd never forget. The monk told Cam to suppress his anger and come to the shrine with him on the upcoming full moon night. Sam returned to the altar to prepare more offerings when suddenly a super huge red snake crawled over, knocked over all the offerings and slithered away. Sam was so scared he ran to find his dad and Master Kong to urge them to come here. The village chief blamed it on a demon snake sent by Cam to sabotage them, but actually it was Puchong, Sithra's lackey, intentionally causing them to misunderstand Cam, forcing Cam to reveal his true form as Fanky. Because of this, Fakin had a fierce argument with Sithra. The village chief led people to Cam's house to force him to take responsibility for ruining the ceremony. Cam wasn't home, so he arrested his parents instead. Fakin appeared intending to save them, but Master Kong pulled out the golden headband so he couldn't do anything. Fakin didn't know who to ask for help, so he went to AI's place, asking them to come save Cam. AI had just returned from the temple when Fu and Kor arrived. Fu had dug up some information on Master Kong. He used to be a famous monk but liked to show off dark arts. He was once caught bringing women to his monastic room to sleep, so he was forced to return to secular life. As for the village chief, he got rich through illegal means, but they had no evidence, so he lived freely. Fu dug up some information that the village chief was behind the antique trafficking, and now together with Master Kong they were taking over the temple, definitely targeting the treasures beneath the temple, exploiting the villagers for profit. Hearing this, AI felt a bit worried about Cam. Surely Cam would try to stop them and get into trouble. Seeing her worry about Cam, Kor's face turned green with jealousy. While they were sitting and talking, AI heard Fakin calling her. Running out to the yard, she saw him badly injured, asking them to go to the house to help Cam. The group worriedly sped there immediately. This time, Cam was at school sharing cakes Bon bought for the kids when a neighbor ran over to report the news. He immediately ran home. The village chief insisted Cam released a demon snake to ruin the ceremony. While Cam tried to explain he didn't do anything, the soldiers used ropes enchanted by Master Kong to tie Cam up. Master Kong also threw red powder on Cam, forcing him to reveal his true form. The sky began to darken, black clouds rolled in, and the snake god's soul gradually rose. Just when it seemed Sithra's plan had succeeded, luckily Kor's group arrived in time to rescue him. Fu told the village chief if he continued, he would arrest him for illegal detention. Regarding the ceremony incident, without evidence, acting recklessly would also get him arrested. The village chief was speechless and left in anger. Kor and everyone took Cam and his parents home. Cam thanked them, saying if they hadn't arrived in time, things would have been even worse. Kor warned Cam to be extremely careful from now on. Surely the village chief's gang would find ways to trap him again. Cam got angry. It would be exactly what they wanted. AI gave the bracelet Uncle San gave her to Cam to protect him because she was genuinely worried about him. Since it was late, AI and the others left first. Cam went outside to sit in the breeze, and Sithra came creeping back. She told Cam to accept that he wasn't human, and soon he would lose all his merit. Sithra intended to drag Cam back to the underwater palace but was zapped by the bracelet, almost getting burnt to a crisp, and ran away losing her sandals. Just as Sithra left, Fakin arrived, advising Cam to stay calm so as not to fall into the bad guy's trap. Cam was too helpless hearing these repeated words, so he left. At Sam's place, they sneaked to the old foundation of the temple, digging to see if there was treasure underneath. At home, Cam sensed it and was about to run over to stop them when the monk appeared, telling him to endure and not let Fanky's power be awakened and control his human self. They were stealing items from the old city, so the souls of the people there would stop them themselves. Cam listened and sat down to continue meditating to calm his mind. The monk went to Sam's group to give a gentle suggestion. This group didn't listen and instead beat the monk up, carried him back to his monastic room, and tied his hands and feet. Sam continued digging and found several jars containing ancient Buddha statues and jewelry, his eyes lighting up. Thunder and lightning flashed loudly. They thought it was about to rain, so they headed back, but unexpectedly were grabbed by two ropes. Unluckily for Sam, he met Manrin. He wanted to run but couldn't. Among them, one guy wore a protective amulet so Manrin couldn't touch him. Two others were struck flat by a bolt of loving lightning, and the rest were so scared they ran for their lives, leaving the place. Morning came. and the police were present at the scene to collect evidence. These two guys were the village chief's henchmen with priors for stealing antiques, and seeing their charred bodies, they were definitely struck by lightning for real. Cam just ran over asking everyone if they had seen the monk, but no one had seen him all morning. Worried, Cam went with Bon and Cor to look for him and found the monk tied up and passed out cold, so they hurriedly took the monk to the clinic. After the doctor finished the exam, Cam went over to fill out some paperwork for the monk, and Sithra crept over again, but Fakine also appeared to block her. Cam told Sithra to leave immediately and not touch the monk, but she craned her neck to gently remind him that because the monk interfered with her love, she just liked messing with him. Cam brought out the necklace to scare Sithra, saying that being a snake god in his past life was fine, but in this life, he didn't want to return to his snake form anymore. Sithra couldn't win the argument, so she left in anger. AI and P heard villagers say the monk was in the hospital, so they ran to visit and bumped into Sithra right in the lobby. AI realized Sithra was the one who cast the curse, and the two girls argued back and forth a few sentences about the past life. Cam walked over and chased Sithra away, making her even more furious. Everyone went inside to visit the monk, who had just woken up. The monk was worried about Cam and wanted him to fight his subconscious from the past life. Only if he won could he liberate the people submerged under Nonghan Lake. If he lost, Cam would run out of merit and turn back into a snake god. Long story short, he still had to be calm, clear-headed, and not get angry. Saying that, the monk thrashed around on the bed, and the doctors hurriedly ran over to treat him. Cam had just nodded about controlling his emotions, but turned around and demanded to go settle the score with Sam's group. Cor hurriedly chased after him to hold him back, but no matter how he tried to persuade him, Cam wouldn't listen and even gave Cor a hard shove. Cam's body started heating up, and snake skin began to appear. AI ran over seeing that and tried to calm Cam's spirit, keeping him there and not letting him go anywhere. Luckily, Cam listened and went back inside with the monk. The doctor finished the exam and told Cam to let the monk stay here for observation for another 2 or 3 days. If his condition improved, he could go back to the temple. At the village chief's place, the police came to his house with a search warrant to look for the missing antiques. The village chief wanted to stop them but couldn't, so he had to let Fu inside to inspect the house. He said his hobby was collecting antiques, so he had a separate room to pursue his passion. When Fu asked for ownership permits, he brought them out for him to see right away. Fu checked everything once over. Everything was in the ownership registration papers, so he couldn't do anything. He was about to leave when Mandarin appeared and knocked over 2 jars on the shelf. Fu went over intending to pick them up, but unexpectedly saw a Buddha statue hidden behind the cabinet. Fu. This item wasn't in the ownership papers. Fu asked him where he got it and he couldn't answer. Suddenly the permanent secretary walked over and said the paperwork for the statue was done, but the village chief hadn't gone to pick it up yet. Fu couldn't do anything else, so he left first. The village chief thanked the secretary profusely, whispering to him that he would bring some tea and cakes over later to thank him. Mandarin saw that and was furious in her chest, intending to give each of them a lightning punch, but unexpectedly Master Kong arrived, so she had to hit the road. It turns out the ownership papers this gang had were made through bribery. They discussed a plan to make Cam reveal his true form. That way, the villagers would help them chase Cam away, and then digging for treasure would be easier without anyone interfering. AI's place. She and Cor had just returned from making merit for the spirits under Nonghan Lake. Cor had work to do, so he left immediately. Cam stood far away seeing Cor and AI being super lovey-dovey, and he was incredibly jealous inside. The power rose again, making him extremely uncomfortable. At home, seeing Cam nowhere to be found, his mom was extremely worried. Today being the full moon made her even more anxious. Uncle Thap asked her what exactly she was hiding, and after asking forever, she finally revealed that Cam was the reincarnation of a snake god. On the day Cam was born, she saw snake scales on his body appear and then disappear. As he grew up, she noticed Cam liked playing with snakes, and the snakes were always afraid of him. She also told him about seeing with her own eyes Cam turning into a snake god and biting the heads of the thieves at the temple. Today being the full moon, the mom was afraid Cam would transform again. That afternoon, AI went with P and Bon to Nonghan Lake to take photos of flowers. AI wanted to check out Dawn Island, so everyone got on a small boat to go to the island. AI's group went up to the island, and Bon told them this place used to be the royal palace of the ancient city. This place wasn't flooded because there was a monk who didn't feast on the white squirrel meat. AI felt a lingering sadness in her heart, her mind imagining the scene of the ancient city being submerged. As for Cam, he ran to the snake god shrine to find Uncle Sun to help control his power. He didn't want to turn into a snake god, and with the monk in the hospital, only he could help now. Sithra knew Uncle Sun would definitely stop Cam from transforming, so she sent Puchong to the shrine to cause trouble. At this moment, Uncle Sen was helping Cam calm down and focus on suppressing the power. That guy Pooh dragged a whole herd to cause chaos outside. Kazan and Sima went out to exchange a few moves with them. The two sides rushed at each other, clawing and tearing. Up in the sky, black clouds gathered, and thunder and lightning went crazy. AI's place. The sun was high, so the group agreed to head back. Cythera down in the underwater palace knew this and sent Neela to sink the boat because if Cam knew AI was in danger, surely Fanky would rise, turn into a snake god, and come save AI. Luckily, Uncle Sin also sensed that AI would be in danger, so he told Manrin to go save AI while he stayed to protect Cam. Kazan went with Manrin to Nonghan Lake, while Sima continued dueling with Puchong. Uncle San called more people to lend Sima a hand. Back to AI. The group was cruising along in the middle of the lake when the boat shook violently and then stood still. The propeller was broken off completely. Neela kept swimming under the boat and then pushed the whole group into the water. Cam couldn't concentrate and really wanted to go save AI. Uncle San told him to calm down quickly, saying Manrin was already going to save AI, and his job was to overcome himself and not fall into Cythera's trap. Uncle Sun had to call Kor to come save AI at Nonghan Lake too. Receiving the signal, Kor and Fu immediately went out to the middle of the lake to look for them. AI was pulled underwater by Neela, making Cam Sin twitchy, wanting to go save her. Uncle San kept Cam sitting still in place, saying that Kor had arrived there and would surely save AI, so he shouldn't let anger control his body. Meanwhile, Manrin and Kazan had pulled AI up to the surface, but unexpectedly Cythera crept over and pulled both of them down again. Luckily Kor had arrived and jumped into the water to find AI. Knowing Kor was Prince Fadang, memories of Fadang and Cam being together kept flashing in Cam's mind, making him unable to accept it, and he immediately switched to possessive mode. Uncle San knew Fanky was rising to control the body but couldn't stop it no matter what. Finally, Cam still turned into a snake god, went outside, and incinerated Puchong's entire group. Uncle Thap ran over but couldn't stop Cam either. A Nonghan Lake. AI was pulled to the bottom by Cythera but was rescued by Kor using his sword. Fu and everyone drove a boat over to take Kor and AI away from there. Cythera was beaten up badly by Fanky, and both dragged each other back to the underwater palace. Seeing Fanky had returned, Cythera jumped at him to heat up their romance but got scolded by him. Even though he was Fanky now, he had cultivated to become human, so there was no way he would be a snake and stay here with her again. He would try to win AI over to his side no matter what. After speaking, Fanky walked away, making Cythera hate AI even more. At AI's place, she was taken to the hospital. Her condition was stable, just that her body was a bit weak, so she hadn't woken up yet and needed more rest. In her coma, AI dreamed of meeting Sister Manrin and her parents. She told them she knew the reason she had to return here was to break the curse and help the souls in Nonghan Lake be liberated. She apologized to the whole family, saying if she hadn't insisted on catching the white squirrel that day, things wouldn't have turned out like this. No one blamed her at all. What's done is done and can't be redone. Now they had to find every way to make Fanky give up his hatred, stand before the Snake King to speak words of forgiveness to the people, and then have Cythera break the curse so everything would be fine. After finishing talking with everyone, AI heard Kor calling her, so she opened her eyes. Outside, Manrin came to see Fu outside the hospital. She came to see that he was safe before feeling reassured enough to go home. Fu begged Manrin to let him take her home. He also wanted to meet her parents to ask for permission to get to know her. Fu confessed his feelings to Manrin, making her very happy, but Manrin was also very afraid of the day they would have to part again, when neither she nor Fu would be able to accept it. A nurse called, so Fu ran over to get some paperwork. When he turned back, Manrin was nowhere to be seen. Elsewhere, Fanky had returned. He was no longer Cam. This time he was determined to win back Camkong, whether she was Cam or AI. He returned home, and his parents were both very worried. Fanky told them that in his past life he was indeed a snake god, as the monk said, but in this life he was human, and he absolutely would not return to being a snake again. Uncle Thap sensed the coldness from Cam and advised him not to create more bad karma from now on. He didn't want to see villagers getting killed. Fanky replied coldly that they did bad things, stealing Buddha statues to sell, so Fanky just taught them a lesson. Saying that, he went up to his room. After a few days in the hospital, AI was discharged to go home. Kor told her that no matter what happened now, he would always be by her side. Before going home, AI wanted to visit the monk, so she asked Kor to take her there. At the monk's place, Cam was visiting him. Just one look and the monk knew the person in front of him was Fanky, not Cam anymore. The monk advised Fanky that love must come from the heart. Princess Camkong swore not to reincarnate together because she didn't accept him being a snake. What Fanky wanted was coercion. Fanky ignored it, reminding him that in the past life, it was the monk who prophesied that the white squirrel was the seed of disaster, causing the king to send the hunter to chase it, and finally, the white squirrel was put in the pot. The monk replied that everything has its destiny. Just like Fanky, the Snake King warned him of misfortune, but he still turned into a white squirrel to meet Princess Cam. In this life, he had cultivated to become human, so he should let go. As people from the past all had their own lives now, he shouldn't create new karma. There was no way Fanky would stand by and watch Ikam and Fadeng be together. Just as he finished speaking, AI and Kor arrived. Kor immediately realized the person in front of him wasn't Cam. Fanky walked over to them and told Kor that whether in this life or the past life, there was no way he would let Ikam belong to Fadeng. Kor told Fanky that old story was thousands of years ago. Now he was Kor, not Fadeng. Moreover, AI wasn't an object for others to possess. If anyone dared to touch her, he certainly wouldn't let it slide. If the monk hadn't spoken up, these two young men would have surely rushed at each other. Out of respect for the monk, Fanky let it slide for now. He told AI he would come find her again and then left first. The monk knew he didn't have much time left, so he told Kor to take him back to the temple to finish a few important things. The monk insisted on going back, so Kor and AI had to do the discharge paperwork for him. Now that Cam was controlled by Fanky, breaking the curse would be much more difficult. Sithra would definitely make Fanky transform and return to the underwater palace to live with her. If so, Cam would also die and couldn't live on, and the curse wouldn't be broken. AI looked visibly worried hearing this. It was late, so Kor took AI back to her place. AI believed Cam was a good person who would help break the curse. It's just that now he was dominated by Fanky, and they needed to bring Cam back. Meanwhile, Fanky went to find the king. He said he would never forgive the people in the city unless he had AI by his side. He absolutely wouldn't yield her to anyone, and AI could only belong to him alone. After speaking, Fanky left. The king was worried and went to the underwater palace to visit the Snake King to ask for advice on whether there was any way to help Fanky give up his hatred. Suddenly Sithra came out and chased him away, bluntly stating that if Fanky didn't return to the underwater palace, she wouldn't break the curse either. The king was kicked out of the underwater palace and fell flat on his face. Time was running out, and if the situation wasn't resolved, the person suffering the most would still be AI. Meanwhile, AI was sitting thinking about America when Fanky came looking for her. She said the Cam she knew was very kind, not the person standing in front of her. Fanky immediately shouted in her face that he was still Cam. His face and appearance were still like Cam. He could still teach the village kids whatever Cam could do, he could do just the same. He had to cultivate for 1,000 years to get to this day, so what AI had to do was love him like in the old days, going back to how it was before when she was Camkong. As he spoke, Fanky advanced towards her, scaring AI out of her wits. Suddenly, memories of Camkong flooded AI's mind, from the early days of meeting, the days they started falling in love, to the day everyone found out Fanky was a snake god. Fanky forced a kiss on AI. She was so scared she pushed him away and ran, but he still caught her. Fanky kept telling AI to come back to him. Just then, Kor ran over and pushed Fanky away, and the two had a huge argument. Kor told Fanky to wake up. That now wasn't the old days. AI was Areta, not Princess Ikam, and he was Teacher Cam, not the snake god Fanky. The two guys rushed at each other to duel, and no matter how AI tried to intervene, she couldn't stop them. The situation was critical. So AI took a risk and grabbed a piece of wood to whack Fanky once to save Kor first. P and Fu heard the noise and ran over. Fanky still wanted to go one-on-one with Kor. AI told him to stop and not make her afraid of him anymore. Hearing that, Fanky finally agreed to leave. Elsewhere, Sithra went to the village chief's house to urge them to dig up the treasure quickly. She wouldn't take a single dime. What she needed was the snake pearl, and she would talk about it after they dug up the treasure. The village chief asked for payment, and Sithra immediately brought out a box full of gold. Manrin saw that and immediately possessed the maid, running over to grab some gold bars and throw them into the pond next to the house. Master Kong knew right away she was possessed by a ghost, and immediately told his henchmen to catch her, but they couldn't. Sithra was like, I have to do everything myself, so she struck once, forcing Manrin and her subordinate out of the maid's body. She told the village chief she would bring the payment later, and it was best to bring the snake pearl to her quickly. After Sithra left, Som dared to ask what exactly the snake pearl she wanted was. Master Kong heard it was a pearl containing the snake god's spiritual energy. The village chief suggested digging up the treasure first. If that snake pearl was valuable, they would keep it and not bother giving it to Sithra. In the underwater palace, Puchong asked Sithra why she had to rely on those troublesome humans instead of getting the snake pearl herself. She explained that the treasure under the city was protected by a spell from the king of all snakes against all demons. If they went in there, they would be in danger. They had to let the village chief's group break the suppressing statue, and then they just needed to come and take the snake pearl without wasting any effort. As for Manrin, she returned to report to her father that the village chief's group would dig up the treasure under the old city. Regarding the snake pearl, that year when the white squirrel was shot down, the hunter picked up the snake pearl that fell out. Seeing the snake pearl, the king realized the white squirrel was a snake god. The monk predicted disaster would strike, so the king ordered people to take the treasure and the snake pearl to hide under a cave. and had the monk use spells to seal the cave mouth so no one could see it. Perhaps Sithra wanted to give the snake pearl to Fanky so he would turn into a snake god forever. If so, Cam would disappear completely. Back to AI. She was sitting studying the ancient book to find a way to break the curse. P saw her pulling her hair out in frustration, so she went over to see what was up. AI complained that the script in this palm leaf book was more ancient than any ancient script she had ever learned. Even using reference books, she still couldn't translate it. P wondered, since the story of Icam and Fanky was from 1,000 years ago and she was now Ereda, not Princess Icam, wasn't helping to break the curse a bit beyond her ability. AI knew that, but she was the reason the people were cursed, so no matter what, she still had to help. Kor and Fu brought some sweet cakes for P and AI. To return the favor, P went into the kitchen to cook a meal to treat the two guys. AI told Kor she felt worried about Cam, being controlled by Fanky like that. She didn't know how he was doing. Kor felt more worried about AI. Now that Fanky was convinced she was his lover, she would be in danger. Far away, Fanky saw AI and Kor together. He was furious in his chest and intended to go over and cause trouble. The monk asked the wind to send a message to Fanky to stop. It was so hard to cultivate to become human, so don't go creating more karma. Luckily the advice worked and Fanky listened. AI's group finished cooking and prepared to test P's cooking skills. Fu was helping clear things up and noticed the palm leaf book, so he opened it to take a look. Magically, something zapped through Fu, making him read the content of the book fluently without stumbling over a single word. Everyone was dumbfounded. Fu also didn't know why he could read it. Manrin appeared to answer their questions. Because Fu was the one who recorded the entire story in this palm leaf book in his past life, he could read the content. Putting that aside, Fu continued reading the content and learned that to break the curse, they needed the blood of the snake goddess Sithra and the snake pearl. Manrin told them Sithra also wanted to get the snake pearl. If she got it first, everything would be ruined. The curse wouldn't be broken, the people wouldn't be liberated, and even Cam would disappear. At the monk's place, Fanky came to find him, so he advised Fanky to give up hatred and forgive the villagers, as they had suffered for 1,000 years. The pact between him and Kamkong had been blurred by time, and things between them were impossible. Talking until his throat was dry, Fanky remained stubborn. Whether it was Kamkong, Icam or Ereda, he had to have her. Manrin was quite worried about her father because the cave door was sealed and required a lot of strength. The monk was the one who created the seal so he could open it easily. But for the king, opening the cave door wasn't simple. Master Kong sensed that the king wasn't human, and the village chief's group planned to rush down immediately once the cave door opened. The king chanted a spell and performed magic. The cave door opened immediately, and the king told AI to go down quickly before it closed. He didn't know which part of the cave she would arrive at, but she definitely had to get to the main hall where the guarding snake god statue was. The king hadn't finished giving instructions when the village chief's group ran over. Manrin and the king together blocked them. Seeing the cave door about to close, AI Kor and Fu hurriedly jumped down, and Som and Calm also quickly jumped down after them. Fanky also arrived just in time to enter the cave mouth right before it closed. The others hurriedly left, leaving only Uncle Thap, the village chief, and Master Kong behind to watch. AI's group fell into a fork in the cave, and they started looking for the way to the main hall. Som and Calm also just landed and were fumbling to see which way was right. Sithra heard from her subordinate that Fanky had also gone down into the cave and was a bit worried, afraid he would get the snake pearl first. She comforted herself that the cave had the Snake King's suppressing power, so no evil spirit could run rampant, even Fanky. Sure enough, after going down into the cave, Fanky was sealed and couldn't pass through the door, and was even knocked unconscious by the Snake King's power. Back to AI's group, Sithra had sent a swarm of snakes to surround them. The three hit the road with the snakes chasing closely behind. After running for a while, AI saw the Snake King's statue and immediately knelt down to beg for his help, and thanks to that, the swarm of snakes retreated. Fu suggested resting here for a while, since it was 2 a.m. anyway, to get some rest before continuing the search. Fu took a nap while Kor and AI sat and had a romantic heart-to-heart talk. After talking for a while, Kor told AI to sleep a bit and he would keep watch. The king came to find AI in her dream, showing her the way to the crystal cave where the ancient city's treasure and the snake pearl were kept. The king also had one thing about a fierce black snake spirit in the crystal cave he wanted to warn AI about, but before he could say it, his spiritual power ran out. This snake spirit had been in the cave since before the king hid the treasure, so the Snake King's power had no effect on it. Meanwhile, Som and Calm saw the snake spirit. These two cowards chose to sit still and let the snake spirit leave, determined not to clash. While waiting, they both fell asleep. When they woke up and didn't see the snake spirit anywhere, they dared to crawl out to find the treasure. They saw AI's group discussing the way to the crystal cave, so they followed them. Fu held a compass to navigate. Som walked over with a weapon forcing them to back off, snatched the compass from Fu's hand, and went to find the treasure first. To be safe, they even intended to tie AI's group up, But before they could do anything, the black snake spirit crawled over and breathed fire fiercely. Kor brought out the divine sword to duel. The snake spirit switched to attacking Fu, but luckily Cam arrived in time to save him. Taking that opportunity, Kor gave the snake spirit a slash, causing it to tuck its tail and run. Seeing Cam, Fu and the group were startled because they thought it was Fanky. It turned out earlier the Snake King had chased Fanky out of Cam's body, so he could walk freely in the cave. AI tried talking to Cam first to see if he was really Cam or Fanky pretending. After talking for a while, AI was sure this was Cam. He asked AI what she was doing down here, so AI told him everything. Hearing the monk was also down here, Cam was extremely worried and wanted to go look for him immediately. Sam and Calm found the crystal cave first. Their eyes lit up when they stumbled upon many treasure chests there, every chest full of gold. Both packed their backpacks full of gold, planning to make a few trips to haul it all back when they remembered the snake pearl. Sam saw the small box hidden in the corner but ignored it to move the gold to the cave entrance first. On the ground, Master Kong struggled to find his powerful teak staff at his master's place to open the cave door. Manrin and Kazan came to stop him but were beaten up by him and even had all their spiritual energy sucked out. Luckily the king appeared in time to save them and get them out of there first. The village chief's group took the chance to jump into the cave before the entrance closed. Just as they landed, a henchman was bitten by a snake and logged out of the game immediately. Just after chasing away the small snakes, the black snake appeared and snapped up the remaining henchmen. Running away was the best option, so Master Kong and the village chief scrammed. Below in the crystal cave, Ai's group ran into Sam and Calm at the cave entrance. There was an invisible barrier there. No one could get out and no one could get in. Cam heard the monk's voice so he ran to find him, discovering the monk gasping for breath. He told Cam he must defeat Fanky's subconscious. If successful, he could break the curse for the villagers, but if he failed, he would be a snake god forever. After speaking, the monk closed his eyes and rested in peace. AI told Cam about the snake pearl. They had to find it so Fanky wouldn't control Cam anymore. The monk's body lit up, and his soul led them to a smoke-filled pit where the real snake pearl was kept. After showing the way, the monk vanished. The snake pearl flew up from the pit. AI reached out to catch it. Cam wanted to destroy the snake pearl first before leaving. He didn't want to be controlled by Fanky anymore. Unexpectedly, just then, the village chief and Master Kong found the giant snake statue. They broke the statue, causing the spells in the cave to lose effect. Because of that, Sithra could walk freely in the crystal cave. Kor took out his snake-suppressing knife and was gaining momentum to destroy the snake pearl when Sithra appeared and snatched it. AI told her she could take the snake pearl but had to help them break the curse. Sithra replied that only if Fanky agreed to return to the underwater palace. With her would she agree. To save the villagers' souls, Cam nodded, and just then Fanky possessed Cam. He didn't want to go back to being a snake god anymore, and forced Sithra to return the snake pearl. Hearing Sithra speak, AI finally learned about Princess Kamkong's oath, the reason Fanky kept chasing her from one life to another. Sithra grabbed AI. The protective bracelet AI wore emitted a light that startled Sithra into pushing AI away, and the snake pearl fell to the ground. AI was quick to pick up the snake pearl, but unexpectedly was pushed by Sithra's magic into the lake nearby. Kor immediately used the spirit knife to chase Sithra away. The cave shook violently, and large rocks fell from above into the lake, blocking the surrounding area so Kor couldn't get close even though he wanted to jump in to save AI. Elsewhere, Master Kong and the village chief found Sam and Calm and broke the protective barrier. They intended to go in to get more treasure, but the inside of the cave was collapsing. To save their lives, they had to run away first. The black snake crawled out to attack. Master Kong threw the bag of treasure to distract the black snake and then beat it up. The whole group could have left safely, but the greedy village chief insisted on picking up the treasure bag, so he got whacked by the black snake's tail. Rocks and earth fell like rain. Master Kong had to drag Sam away first, while the village chief was buried under the cave just like that. At Cam's group, he told Fu and Kor he would save AI using the snake god's power. Then Cam transformed and jumped into the water. Manring came to pick Fu and Kor up out of the cave before it collapsed. She took them to the snake god shrine to meet the king. AI was in the shrine still unconscious. The king saved her in the cave, but her soul was no longer there, which was why she hadn't woken up. Within 7 days, if they didn't bring AI's soul back, he feared she wouldn't make it. It turned out Fanky had taken AI's soul to a place no one knew. He called AI Kamkong and lovingly scolded her not to play in the water alone or she'd get sick again. The servants in the house called her princess. The attendant beside AI had a face exactly like Manrin but was named Manny, and her dress and makeup looked like she had traveled back 1,000 years. AI suspected she had reincarnated as Princess Kamkong as Sithra had said. Listening to Manny, it seemed everyone knew Fanky was a snake, and the king was extremely worried AI would be dragged down by the snake demon to live together. When AI asked for more details, Manny wouldn't say, afraid of being punished. When she went out, Everyone looked at AI like a strange creature, dodging quickly and not daring to get close. Some were startled, others cringed in fear. AI asked Manny what happened and to tell her immediately. Manny hesitated for a long time before revealing that the people in the city were rumored that her husband was a snake. AI met Kor's past self, General Inthesin, who used to protect Kamkong from Fanky's attacks. This Inthesin was very cold, telling her they were no longer as close as before. But he still wanted to remind her not to go out at night during this time, or she might encounter danger. Just then, Fanky walked up and asked Inthesin what danger was here. In this life, Fanky and Inthesin were openly hostile. Whenever they met, their eyes shot daggers at each other. AI had to go see the king, so Fanky left first. Inside there were high-ranking officials, and AI didn't know what to do. While the king and queen were quite surprised by her behavior, which wasn't like usual. The king asked AI what was wrong that she was behaving so strangely, and her way of speaking wasn't like before either. The king asked AI if living with Fanky had anything strange, and he told AI not to go out at night because Master Han saw a giant snake loitering outside the city. That night, AI sat thinking that since she had returned to the past anyway, she definitely had to change it, help Fanky not get hurt, and ensure Kamkong didn't make the oath, so the curse in the next life would be broken. Seeing Fanky struggling outside, AI realized tonight was the full moon, so he might turn into a snake, and she secretly followed him. Master Han and his disciples were also following Fanky, waiting to catch Fanky transforming red-handed. AI saw this and told them to go home, that there was no need to stay here and watch, but they didn't listen. Only after Inthesin came over and spoke up did the two of them leave. Inthesin told AI that the king suspected Fanky was a demon in disguise, so he ordered Master Han to investigate. That was also the reason Inthesin came here to protect her. AI told Inthesin to protect Fanky and not let anyone catch him. She knew what would happen in the future, so let her persuade Fanky to return to the underwater palace. Just as she finished speaking, Fanky walked up and seeing them talking, his jealousy flared up again, and he argued back and forth with Inthesin a few words. AI told Inthesin to go home first, that she would take care of herself. Fanky was a bit angry because AI interacted with Inthesin. She told him to put that aside for now, saying everyone was suspecting him now, and he should leave here before things became too late. AI wanted Fanky to tell her the truth that he was a snake god. If he stubbornly stayed by Kamkong's side, he would be harmed, and he and Kamkong would be separated for life. What he needed to do was return to the underwater palace. Fanky thought AI was chasing him away because she wanted to be with Inthesin. She had to explain over and over that she could see the future and didn't want him and Kamkong to be separated forever, so he should listen to her. Fanky absolutely refused to listen and just walked away. The next morning when she woke up, not seeing Fanky anywhere, AI thought he had left, but it turned out he just went for a walk to clear his mind. AI still advised Fanky to leave, while Fanky wanted to take AI with him to live together. Manny knocked on the door to report that the king summoned Fanky for an important matter, so Fanky went to the palace. The king said he was very happy to see Fanky taking good care of Princess Kamkong. He was old, and later he would let the couple succeed him. Master Han entered, bringing a jar of precious medicinal herbs to offer the king for his health. After drinking, the king asked Master Han to pour a glass for Fanky. It turned out this medicine, once drunk, would force Fanky to reveal his true form. Fanky felt they were acting strange but couldn't refuse, so he downed the glass of medicine. Everyone waited for his reaction. Fanky's body started heating up, uncomfortable and restless, snake scales gradually appearing on his hand. The king demanded to see it and forced him to put his hand on the table, but luckily he controlled it so nothing happened. Master Han didn't give up. He threw a handful of 1000-year snake plant powder at Fanky, making him unsteady. At that critical moment, AI ran over to rescue him, telling the king to stop immediately and not let things get worse. AI helped Fanky stand up and begged her parents to let her persuade Fanky to leave, asking them not to harm him. She knew the future. If they continued to harm Fanky, the entire kingdom would be destroyed. The queen spoke up for AI, advising the king to give Fanky a chance, and thanks to that they let AI lead Fanky away. Back home, AI again advised Fanky to return to the underwater palace, telling him if he wanted to be with Kamkong in the next life, he should return to his home now. Gentle words didn't work, so AI had to speak more coldly and harshly, so Fanky had to go outside first. AI wanted Inthesin to promise her not to harm Fanky, but he couldn't help because it was all decided by the king. So AI went to find the king to beg him to spare Fanky, asking him to give her time to resolve this herself. At first, the king objected until the queen spoke up, but the king only gave AI 1 day. AI returned home and went to the prayer room to pray, hoping the gods and Uncle Sun would show her the next path to change the past. Magically, Uncle Sun in the present sensed AI's words. He also guessed she was in Princess Kamkong's era, so he called Fu and Kor over to tell them. Coincidentally, Kor had also dreamed about AI himself and Cam. Manrin recounted the story between Camkong and Fanky for them to hear. The tricky issue here was whether AI could return or would be stuck in the past forever. Back to AI, she was saying goodbye to Fanky so he could return to the underwater palace. Through this trip, she could feel how great Fanky's love for Camkong was. Just when she thought everything was settled, unexpectedly at the king's place, some officials and Master Han were manipulating the king to nip the problem in the bud and not let Fanky go so easily. Out of love for his daughter, the king assigned Inthason and Master Han to deal with Fanky. They went to Fanky's house and used enchanted ropes to tie Fanky up just as he was about to leave the kingdom. AI was locked in the house by soldiers. No matter how much she banged on the door, it wouldn't open. Fanky was tied to a tree. The queen heard the news and ran over to advise the king to keep his promise to AI, but he wouldn't listen. Master Han had his disciples use a spell to force Fanky to reveal his true form, but it had no effect. So Master Han used a stronger spell, causing Fanky's snake scales to appear all over his body. Meanwhile, the queen ran home and ordered the soldiers to release AI. As soon as the door opened, she ran to Fanky. Additionally, Uncle Sen was also praying to the Snake King to help him bring AI's soul back. At the king's place, Master Han suggested incinerating Fanky to eliminate future threats to the kingdom. The king agreed, and Master Han immediately ordered the fire lit. Ignoring Fanky's explanation that he only loved Camkong, wanted to be with her, and had no bad intentions to harm anyone. The fire was about to be lit when AI ran over to stop them. The king told Inthason to take AI away so Master Han could light the fire. AI told Inthason to put out the fire quickly, or Fanky wouldn't be able to bear it and would turn into a snake god. Before Inthason could do anything, Master Han lit the fire, making Fanky heat up unbearably. Then Fanky used all his strength to blow out the fire, untied himself and rushed at Inthason. The two dueled without giving an inch. But luckily Inthason was wearing a snake spirit bracelet, so Fanky couldn't do anything to him. However, when AI ran over to stop Inthason, Fanky took that opportunity to send Inthason to meet his maker. Fanky turned into a snake god and breathed fire everywhere. Master Han also shared the same fate and was wiped from the server. When Fanky chased the king into the palace, AI chased after him to persuade Fanky to stop immediately. Fanky turned back into human form. AI blamed herself for not being able to change the past, still letting things turn out this bad. What she could do now was revise the oath, asking Fanky not to be obsessed with his love for Camkong anymore. She chased Fanky away, asking him to accept that they couldn't be together anymore. Fanky refused. If he had to go, they had to go together. AI resorted to drastic measures, intending to use a hairpin to log herself out. Seeing that, Fanky stopped arguing and agreed to leave. As soon as Fanky left, Uncle Sun also arrived to take AI back to reality. AI startled awake to find Kor and Fu by her side. Kor was so happy he hugged her tightly. Uncle Sun told AI not to blame herself for not fixing the past. She should rest to get well, and then they would find another way to break the curse together. Kor took AI back to see P. During the days she was unconscious, P was very worried and couldn't sit still. With Fanky, he didn't want to live in the underwater palace and had cut ties with Sithra. But it seemed Sithra wouldn't give up. She declared if she couldn't have him, no one could. Elsewhere, Fu wanted to know the truth about Manrin from her own mouth, so he went to find her. Manrin knew she couldn't hide it anymore, so she admitted she was indeed a ghost turned human, although Fu already knew. Seeing Manrin's true face, the young man was still startled. Manrin told him to go home, as there was a lot of resentful energy here and he would be in danger. The king walked over to comfort Manrin, saying the day of their freedom was coming soon, and she had to accept the truth that she and Fu couldn't be together. In Sam's storyline, he was heartbroken over his father's death but remained unrepentant, believing that Cam had called his subordinates to stop them from taking the treasure, causing the village chief to perish. Master Kong told him to wait a few days for him to go get more sacred amulets, and then come back to avenge his father. That night, Sam dragged his brothers to Cam's house to find him but didn't see him. When he intended to attack Uncle Thap, Fakin appeared to attack them, and Sam was so scared he had to flee quickly. Waiting for them to leave, Fanky then ran up to the house. Even though he was Fanky now, Uncle Thap and his wife had given birth to Cam and raised him, so he didn't want them to get into trouble because of him. On the other side, Manrin was feeling sad by the riverbank when Fu walked over and hugged her. He had thought it through, and nothing could stop the feelings he had for her. Since he had already fallen in love, Fu wasn't afraid of Manrin, whether she was a ghost or not. As for Fanky, he felt being born as Cam was pretty good too, having parents who loved him even though they knew he was a snake god. So he would try to live Cam's life, also to reassure AI that he wouldn't return to being a snake god anymore. That night, Uncle Thap caught a big snakehead fish, so Aunt Bua cooked fish soup for the whole family to happily eat dinner together. AI passed by and seeing them like that, she breathed a sigh of relief. Fanky went downstairs to meet AI. He wanted to tell her he never had any ill will towards her, and his feelings were still like in all previous lives, hitting the ceiling, never changing. AI wasn't thinking about anything else. Right now she just wanted to break the curse. Fanky agreed to help, but when they got the snake pearl he wanted to take it back to be with AI. Kor walked over and said Fanky was being too greedy. If he got the snake pearl, wouldn't Fanky gain power and force AI to be with him even if she didn't want to? AI was afraid the two would argue again, so she took Kor and left first. Late that night, Sithra came to find AI. She agreed to break the curse if AI brought the snake pearl to her. If she couldn't do it, the souls of the villagers in Ikam's family would forever remain souls guarding Nonghan Lake. The next day, AI went to the snake god shrine to find Uncle San to research how to retrieve the snake pearl. Uncle San told her not to worry. He had picked up the snake pearl when saving AI in the cave. In 7 days, there would be a phenomenon of 3 suns appearing at the same time, with immensely great cosmic power. That day they would perform a ritual to destroy the snake pearl. They definitely had to bring Fanky to attend. Uncle Sun would help seal Fanky's soul so Cam's soul could return. At that time, Fanky wouldn't control Cam anymore and would disappear forever. However, their conversation was overheard by Sithra's subordinate, who went back to report the news. She definitely wouldn't let this ritual take place. That night was a full moon so Fanky wasn't home. Sam's gang knew Cam's parents were home alone, so they went there intending to incinerate the house for revenge. Luckily Fakin stopped them and planned to send Sam to meet his maker right there. But Master Kong arrived, using his wooden staff to seal Fakin's power, causing him to get beaten to a pulp. Thinking this life was over, Fakin still managed to escape from there. Sam's group didn't hold back. They rushed into Cam's house, beat Uncle Thap and his wife up, tied them up and locked the room door. Finally they poured gasoline around and incinerated the whole house. Bon passed by and saw it, so he was also beaten unconscious by them. The fire flared up. Uncle Thap and Aunt Bua woke up to see smoke everywhere. The villagers also quickly came to help put out the fire, everyone lending a hand, but the fire was too big. Uncle Thap managed to reach a pair of scissors to cut the rope himself and untied his wife. Unfortunately the door was locked so they couldn't get out. Bon and the villagers outside also couldn't get inside to save them. Fanky was by the lake when he saw Fakin come with the news. He immediately ran home as fast as his legs could carry him, transformed into a snake god, and sprayed water to extinguish the fire in a split second. AI's group ran into the house to save them, but Aunt Bua was no longer breathing, while Uncle Thap was lucky to be okay. Fanky walked over to Aunt Bua, many memories flashing in his mind from when he was small until he grew up being cared for by her. He blamed himself for not saving his mother, for not protecting her. Furious as hell, Fanky went to the village chief's house to find Sam, grabbed him like grabbing a chicken by the neck, and beat him to a pulp. Sam pulled out a weapon but couldn't do anything before being beaten to a pulp by Fanky. Fanky held the gun intending to send Sam to meet his ancestors. When he was about to pull the trigger, he sensed his mother beside him advising him not to do that, to forgive and not create more karma. If he took revenge this way, he would be just as bad as them. Hearing that, Fanky stopped and left. Fanky returned to hold the funeral for his mother. Uncle Thap told him that whether he was Fanky or Cam, he was still his son. He hoped Fanky wouldn't be dragged into the cycle of karma anymore, and would just live a normal life like Cam before. Meanwhile, Fu went to Sam's house to arrest him for arson. Sam argued he didn't do anything and told him not to even think about arresting him. Bon arrived with Fu to testify that night he saw with his own eyes Sam lighting the fire and breaking into Cam's house to harm his parents. Just like that, Sam, Master Kong, and their accomplices were collared and taken to the station to drink tea. By afternoon someone came to bail them out, so they were released. It was none other than Sithra, who manipulated the inspector, or to put it bluntly, hypnotized him to do her bidding. Fu recognized Sithra as the snake goddess from the cave who demanded the snake pearl, so he went to find Kor and AI to tell them. They guessed for sure Sithra wouldn't let Fanky go, which was why she turned human and continued to get involved with Sam and Master Kong's group. AI took the opportunity to go find Fanky, advising him to attend the ritual and offer forgiveness to the souls of the people. Fanky was still angry that Sam's group not only didn't pay for what they did but were also free as birds. He couldn't accept it, so there was no way he would forgive the past, and he wouldn't attend the ritual either. Fu had a bad feeling that maybe Sithra went to find Sam because she knew about the ritual and wanted to sabotage it. Everything they said was overheard by Sithra's subordinate, who then reported it to her. AI went to Uncle Sen's place. There were only 3 days left until the ritual, and she still didn't know how to beg Fanky. If Fanky didn't come, Cam's soul would disappear that day, and Fanky would take over Cam's entire body, becoming a person with immense magical power. A human but with the power of a snake god. The queen cheerfully came out and took AI's hand, and the king also invited the whole family to the back to talk. At Fanky's house, Uncle Thap was in the kitchen cooking fish soup, Cam's favorite dish for Fanky. He wanted to get gems and jewelry from the underwater palace for Uncle Thap to build a house, so he wouldn't have to live in hardship anymore. But Uncle Thap didn't need them. He just wanted to live happily with him day by day. Fanky saw Sithra arriving, so he went out to see what she wanted. Sithra mocked Fanky, telling him not to try being human anymore, or he would be chased away by everyone like in the past. Sithra told Fanky about the ritual AI wanted him to attend, saying they only wanted to make him dissipate so Cam could return. If he didn't believe it, he could just go to the shrine tomorrow to see everything clearly. Fanky told Sithra to go back immediately and not meddle in his business anymore. After that, Fanky went to find AI, asking her if she really wanted him to come to the ritual tomorrow just to grant forgiveness. Fanky was hurting after waiting for Camkong for so many years, only to find she had no feelings for him when they met again. AI apologized to Fanky. She agreed to everything Fanky wanted, as long as he attended the ritual. Meanwhile, Som brought a new monk to be the abbot at the temple, manipulating the villagers by saying there would be bad omens about the Nonghan Lake curse soon, making them believe it completely and think they needed a ritual to dispel bad luck. Uncle Thap came to argue but was chased away by the villagers without getting a word in. Sithra walked over and told Som to stop doing this nonsense here and go to the snake god shrine to ruin the ritual there. Then bring the snake pearl back to her. At the snake god shrine, AI had arrived. She stopped by Fanky's house to look for him but didn't see him anywhere. And Kor wouldn't arrive until 9 o'clock. The sun was about to split into 3, so everyone went inside to prepare. Manrin was worried Kor would be in danger, so she sent Kazan to pick him and Fu up. Sure enough, Sithra sent a few snake spirits to block Kor's path. Fu used a gun but it was useless, so Kor had to use the snake spirit knife. Unluckily, that guy Puchong appeared to fight 2 against 1. Kor dropped the spirit knife so he was a bit disadvantaged at first, but luckily Fu picked up the knife and threw it to Kor. A moment later, Kazan arrived to hold off Puchong so the 2 of them could quickly get to the snake god shrine. Puchong was injured and couldn't fight Kazan, so he had to leave. The king and everyone had started the ritual. The sunlight was merging with the snake pearl's power, but if Fanky didn't arrive in another hour, the snake pearl would turn into a normal stone. Just as he said that, Fanky opened the curtain and walked in. AI advised Fanky to help her break the curse and not let them suffer anymore. Fanky asked her in return if, after it was over, she would be willing to be by his side like before. AI nodded. She would definitely keep her word. Fanky wasn't very happy to hear that because AI being by his side wasn't out of love. He was also very angry that in the end, they still wanted to lure him here to destroy himself so Cam could return, yet they still wanted him to help break the curse. The Queen and Manrin didn't want AI to sacrifice herself for everyone. If Fanky agreed to forgive, it had to come from the heart, not in exchange for AI's love. She didn't care. She had to pay the price for what she caused. She begged Fanky to forgive the people, and the king knelt down to admit his fault for ordering the capture of the white squirrel and stopping the love between Fanky and Camkong. The king explained that anyone who knew their daughter loved someone of a different species would try to stop it just like he did. Fanky took AI's hand. He agreed to participate in the ritual, accepting everything for AI. Hearing that, everyone was very happy, and AI was very touched. She could feel the love Fanky had for Camkong, Cam, and even herself. Fanky hugged AI, said he would always wait for her, then closed his eyes, moving Fanky's soul to reside in the snake pearl. A moment later, Cam woke up. At first, he was a bit dazed not knowing why he was there, but looking at the snake pearl, Cam understood everything and agreed to join the ritual to liberate the people of the city imprisoned under Nonghan Lake. Everyone got to work together. Sithra was extremely angry knowing Fanky agreed to help break the curse and wanted to go sabotage it. Fakine went to stop her but couldn't. Her power was inherently greater, so she was a tough nut to crack. Elsewhere, Kor and Fu were blocked by Som leading the villagers. The villagers were being manipulated by Som so they wouldn't listen to Fu, steadfastly believing Cam was a bad person. Not knowing how to escape, Kazan arrived to help rescue them. The 3 sons started moving, and there wasn't much time left. The king told Cam to speak words of forgiveness and then cut himself to drip blood into the water of Nonghan Lake, and breaking the curse would be successful. Cam picked up the knife to do as the king said, but at the part of cutting for blood, a rope flew over to stop Cam. It turned out to be Sithra. She wouldn't allow Cam to break her curse on the people of the city. She told Puchong to get the snake pearl for her. The king told Manrin to take the queen away first and then stopped Puchong. Sithra immediately revealed her true form and breathed fire at the king. Alone he couldn't fight her. AI quickly threw the snake spirit necklace at Sithra, making her stop. However, she grabbed AI. At that critical moment, Kor arrived in time to wound Sithra and save AI's life. Puchong and Sithra were both injured and had to hit the road to escape first. The 3 sons were about to disappear. Kamsin told Uncle San to hurry inside to continue the ritual. But who would have guessed Som's group arrived right then and shot Cam in the stomach? Fu ran to the back to chase them away, and everyone hurriedly helped Cam into the shrine first. Suddenly smoke billowed out from somewhere, blindingly thick. When the smoke cleared, both the snake pearl and Cam had disappeared. The three suns phenomenon also ended, and the curse-breaking ritual was unsuccessful again. At Cythera's place, she was healing in the underwater palace. She sensed the guardian souls of Nonghan Lake were still there, so she guessed the curse-breaking had failed. She could even sense Fanky's power, but she just couldn't see where he was. It turned out Cam was taken away by Fakine. He had also told Uncle Thap beforehand that he would try to treat him, so he brought him to this place to recover. Cam didn't want to become Fanky again and rushed outside. But unexpectedly Fakine took out the snake pearl to let Fanky possess Cam. The snake pearl helped Fanky take complete control of Cam's body, with no soul of Cam left to stop Fanky. However, the bullet Sam shot was an enchanted one, so Fanky's wound got worse instead of healing. Even if he didn't bite the dust, he would be writhing in pain. Fanky went back inside to treat the wound himself first, thinking it would be fine, but it was very tough to deal with. He strained all his power, but the wound didn't get any better. That night, AI dreamed of Cam being taken away by Fakine. As soon as morning came, she called Kor to tell him. She saw that the place where Cam was staying looked like some monastery in the forest, so they both decided to go look for it. On the way, AI told Kor that lately she had been a bit focused on breaking the curse and paying attention to Cam, forgetting about him, hoping he wouldn't feel left out. Hearing AI say that, Kor couldn't be happier. The two drove around in the forest looking for the location that appeared in AI's dream. They found a place quite similar to that monastery. AI unexpectedly met her grandma. She ran over to hug her. For years Grandma had gone missing, and AI and her mom couldn't find her, thinking she was gone. But it turned out she was here practicing cultivation, living a peaceful life without drama. AI told her grandma she was looking for Cam, but Grandma hadn't seen any strangers coming here. After talking to Grandma, AI and Kor said goodbye and left. Just as they left, Fanky crept out. Grandma asked if he was the person AI was looking for and why he didn't meet her. Fanky replied he didn't want to drag AI into trouble. Actually, Grandma had received dream omens about AI's past life since she was little, so she knew the gist of the story between them. Fanky lamented that even though he met AI in this life, she didn't remember anything about their romance anymore. So being together was pointless. A few days later, Sam dared to issue a wanted notice for Cam. Anyone who found him would be rewarded with 10,000 baht. Uncle Thap saw that and ran over to tear down the flyer, but was immediately kicked flat on his back by Sam. AI also just heard about the wanted notice. Superiors had transferred food to another case, leaving this case for another officer, hence the wanted notice. If a wanted notice was issued and Cam was still hiding, the charges would be extremely serious. While they were talking, Sam came to join the fun. He arrogantly claimed he saw the police being too slow, so he posted the wanted notice and even paid the reward out of his own pocket, patting his chest proudly that he was a good citizen worried about the villagers' safety. Sam then told AI and Kor to scram before he did something even more drastic, then dusted off his butt and left. Fakine was hiding in the bushes listening to everything and went back to report to Fanky. Fakine advised Fanky to return to the underwater palace to let Cythera help treat his wound, but he refused. Fakine warned him not to go out or he'd be in danger, but he still risked going home to find Uncle Thap because he was worried about him. Uncle Thap was cooking rice in the kitchen and was very happy to see Fanky return, asking him constantly and wanting to see the wound, but Fanky wouldn't let him see, afraid he would worry more. Fanky wanted to take Uncle Thap to live somewhere else so Sam wouldn't bother him anymore. Just as he said that, Sam brought weapons and cornered Fanky before he could even blink. Dodging the bullet, Fanky fell rolling onto the floor. He ran away, and Sam's group immediately chased closely behind. The old wound was still there and Sam had a gun, so Fanky couldn't run fast enough. In that critical moment, Fakine arrived in time to take Fanky away first. They returned to the monastery. Fanky couldn't take it and fainted. AI's grandma told Fakine that even though Fanky had snake god power, his body was still a normal human. She saw his wound seemed infected, so she advised Fakine to find AI for help. Uncle Thap ran over to find AI to tell her that Fanky came home yesterday but was chased by Sam. He begged her and Kor to help Fanky. AI and Kor went to the snake god shrine to find Uncle Sun to see if he could sense where Fanky was. Uncle Sun shook his head, but mentioned that earlier the Snake King sent a message saying if they wanted to break the curse, someone had to sacrifice themselves as an offering. Uncle Sun didn't want AI to get into trouble, so he advised her to go back home, but AI didn't want to. She and Kor would stay to fix the mistakes of the past. On the way back, Fakine blocked AI and Kor's car. AI recognized Fakine as Fanky's servant, and he led the two of them to where Fanky was hiding. Kor checked Fanky's wound, which was heavily infected with the bullet still inside, but Sam's men were scouring everywhere. If they took him to the hospital, they would surely be discovered. No matter what, they had to take the risk. They couldn't leave Fanky lying here waiting to bite the dust. Unexpectedly, while helping Fanky to the car, they were caught by Master Kong's group. But surprisingly, when he searched the car, he didn't see Fanky anywhere. It turned out Manrin used a cloaking spell on him, while the king transformed into Fanky to trick them into chasing him. The king had a duel with Master Kong, and Fakin also came to lend a hand. The king told Fakin to let Master Kong go and not create more karma. By this time, Core and AI had driven Fanky to the hospital. The doctor had to perform urgent surgery to take the bullet out. AI was extremely worried outside the emergency room. After the surgery, the doctor reported Fanky was temporarily stable, but still needed to stay for treatment for a few more days. Manrin called Fu over to help protect Fanky just to be safe. That night, AI told P to go back to Bangkok first to handle work and asked Dong for a week of leave for her. She would return after settling things here. The next morning, AI went to the hospital to visit Fanky and saw him demanding to leave. She told him to stay put for now since he was heavily injured, and Sam's group was looking for him everywhere, so it was best not to go anywhere. His life meant a lot to her and the villagers waiting for him to break the curse. Hearing that, Fanky finally agreed to lie down for the doctor to examine. Core saw AI caring for Fanky and felt a bit upset, so he went outside to clear his mind. Fu ran after him to comfort his buddy with a few words so Core wouldn't overthink and get sad again. Core went into the hospital room to talk a bit with AI about Fanky's situation. In 7 days it would be the day the city collapsed. And he didn't know if the karma they created could be ended or not. That night Fu stayed to keep watch. They didn't know that Sam's men had seen them at the hospital and ran back to report to Sam. Master Kong told Sam not to worry about the guardians of Nonghan Lake. He had called his brothers to go to the snake god shrine to teach them a lesson for messing with him. The two sides had a fierce exchange of moves. The king and Manrin's powers had no effect on these shaman brothers, so they had to hit the road first. That guy Master Kong even ordered his men to incinerate the whole snake god shrine to vent his anger. At the hospital, Sithra hypnotized a nurse to lure AI to the stairwell saying the doctor wanted to see her, and then had the nurse snatch her necklace. Only by doing that could Sithra touch AI. She dragged AI up to the rooftop. Core waited too long without seeing AI return, so he went out to check. Sensing something was wrong, Core hurriedly ran to find AI and picked up her necklace and hair tie. It turned out Sithra wanted to eliminate AI so Fanky would return to love her, but luckily Core arrived in time. Meanwhile, Puchong arrived at the hospital room to take Fanky back to the underwater palace. At that critical moment, Fakin appeared to hold off Puchong so Fanky could run first. Unluckily, just as he got to the lobby, Fanky was surrounded by Sam's group. Sam chased Fanky all the way outside the hospital. Fanky saw AI being hassled by Sithra on the rooftop, so he stopped. A moment later, Fu also arrived to join the fun. Seeing Fanky standing below, Sithra immediately pushed AI off. Fanky immediately transformed into a snake god and caught AI. Sithra also transformed and rushed at Fanky for a one-on-one solo fight. Sam saw the two snake gods and was so scared he couldn't stand steady, jaw dropped, and ran away. Fanky and Sithra constantly shifted their duel location from the shore to under the lake. Sithra couldn't win, so she had to crawl back to the underwater palace. She reflected that there was still Master Kong. If Fanky knew they were the ones who shot the white squirrel, he would surely take revenge. The merit Fanky accumulated would run out, and then he would have to return to the underwater palace with her, and couldn't be human anymore. That night, Sam ran home and told Master Kong that he saw with his own eyes Cam and Sithra turning into snake gods, urging him to quickly find a way to protect him. Master Kong told Sam to keep the enchanted bullet safe. Even a snake god wouldn't be able to withstand it if hit. At Fanky's place, he had just finished healing himself. Fakin advised him to maybe take refuge in the snake palace first because this human world was too dangerous. Talking until his throat was dry, Fanky still didn't agree. Afterwards, Fanky went to AI's place to find her, afraid she would be bothered by Sam again. He asked AI if she loved him. AI replied that it wasn't important, right now she just wanted to break the curse to help the people in the city, asking if he still wanted to help or not. Seeing Fanky keep forcing AI to be with him, asserting only he could protect her, Core spoke up advising him not to do that anymore. You can force anything but love. Fanky ignored him, bluntly stating that only if AI agreed to be with him would he agree to help the villagers break the curse. Having said what needed to be said, Fanky left. While AI had a headache because of his condition, if she didn't agree, she couldn't break the curse and make up for what she caused. Manrin had to go see her father, so Fu walked her out. Just then Bon arrived and caught the scene of Manrin disappearing, leaving the young man stunned and bewildered, not understanding what the hell was going on. Back to Fanky. He went to Sam's house to deal with him, even knowing doing so would bring bad karma upon himself. Sam was prepared, bringing enchanted bullets, but was still beaten to a pulp by Fanky. Nearing the end, Master Kong appeared to save Sam, dueling around with Fanky. Just seeing him bust a few moves, both Master Kong and his henchmen were totally defeated. Fanky planned to incinerate this whole house and them, but the king ran over to stop him. He advised him not to be rash, otherwise karma would latch onto him, his merit would run out, and he couldn't be human anymore. Moreover, in the next life they would seek revenge on him again, creating a vicious cycle that would never end. Fanky agreed to give them a chance, letting it slide just this once. In 3 days it would be the day the city collapsed. The king and the souls had only this one chance left to break the curse. The next day, AI and Core heard from Bond that last night Fanky went to Sam's house to settle the score. They were sure Sam wouldn't let Fanky off the hook. And adding the police investigation, everything would be ruined. Just as they thought, Sithra came to find Sam again, letting him and Master Kong know about events in the past. She made a deal with them. Just make Fanky angry enough to turn into a snake god and return to the underwater palace, and she would give them enough gems and jewelry to live on for several lifetimes. Sithra's true purpose was to force Fanky to get angry and attack Master Kong and Sam, then his merit would run out, and he couldn't be human anymore. At this time, Sam dragged his men to find Uncle Thap, took him away, and told Bond to let Fanky know if he wanted to save his father. Come to the mountain behind the shrine. Bond didn't know how to find Fanky, so he ran to AI for help. Puchong lent a hand, going to Fanky to report that Uncle Thap had been captured by Sam, but Puchong didn't say where he was taken. Fanky used all his might to search for his father, and then hurriedly ran to save him. Fakin tried to stop Fanky but couldn't. In the forest, Master Kong created a barrier to prevent the guardian souls of Nonghan Lake from getting close to the forest. Now they just needed to wait for Fanky to appear. Sam lit a fire wanting to make Uncle Thap scream to call Fanky. He tried to endure the heat, gritting his teeth to not let out any sound. The king used meditation to learn the news and rushed to the forest but was blocked by the barrier. Master Kong's henchmen had been waiting since afternoon to welcome them. The king gave them a beating, broke their wooden staffs, and made them run for their lives. AI's group also arrived at the forest and was warmly welcomed by Sam's henchmen. Meanwhile, Fanky had also arrived and sprayed water to put out the fire to save Uncle Thap. Uncle Thap told Fanky to leave immediately because it was a trap set by Sam to deal with him. Just as he finished speaking, Fakin took an enchanted bullet right away and lay writhing on the ground. Fanky was also shot by Sam, but it had no effect on him. The wound healed itself in just 2 seconds. Master Kong threw a snake spirit collar around Fanky's neck, suppressing his power first so Sam could shoot another enchanted bullet. Who would have expected Uncle Thap to rush out and take the bullet for Fanky? Uncle Thap used his last bit of strength to say a few final words to Fanky, hoping he wouldn't do anything to bring bad karma upon himself, and insisting he must forgive them to save the souls in Nonghan Lake. After speaking a few more words, Uncle Thap also met his doom. Sam not only laughed gloatingly but also mocked Fanky, making him furious. With one snap, Fanky broke the snake spirit collar, transformed, and bit Sam once. Fakin didn't want Fanky to lose all his merit, so he dealt with Master Kong in his place. As long as Fanky wasn't burdened by karma, Fakin didn't mind sacrificing himself. Having just sent off his father and now witnessing his right-hand man also disappear, Fanky was both helpless and enraged. When AI's group arrived, everything was already over. Fanky prepared to carry Uncle Thap away, simply saying he had no one left by his side now, and would send his father off on his final journey himself. Fanky went to find the Snake King for a heart-to-heart talk, asking for his advice to help him escape this cycle of karma. The Snake King advised Fanky to reflect on the issue himself. He sent Fanky back in time to before he was a snake god. Back then he was Bunpong, a hard-working and diligent laborer. Seeing that although he couldn't speak, he was industrious, the master married his daughter named Kamam to him. Kamam was the past life of Kamkong. However, Bunpong didn't love Kamam very much and acted indifferent and cold. For months later, Bunpong followed Kamam to visit her parents. Kamam's mother prepared rice balls for them to eat while traveling through the forest for several days. But unexpectedly Bunpong ate it all without leaving a single bit. Morning came and the couple hit the road again. Bunpong kept walking ahead, intentionally walking fast without waiting for Kamam. Because they ate all the reserve rice, both were faint with hunger. Seeing wild fruits, Bunpong climbed the tree like a rocket to pick them, but he only picked for himself to eat, ignoring Kamam standing below. No matter how she called, he wouldn't give her a single fruit. Bunpong ate his fill and then coldly continued walking. Kamam was too hungry to walk, so she had to climb the tree herself to pick figs to eat. She slipped and fell from the tree, her head spinning. She tried to crawl to a high tree stump to wait for Bunpong to come back for her, and just like that, Kamam passed out cold. Fadeng's past self found her by the stream, seeing she was still breathing, so he saved her. He gave Kamam his food and water. Seeing the wound on the back of Kamam's neck, he even applied medicine to help her. Kamam felt both self-pity and heartbreak. The person she truly loved didn't even treat her as well as this stranger she just met. Elsewhere, Bunpong carried a bunch of bananas back to the stream to look for Kamam but didn't see her anywhere, so he sat and waited. The next morning, Kamam woke up and didn't see her savior anywhere. Her head suddenly hurt violently. She thought her benefactor had left, so she also left the place. Turned out he just went to pick wild fruits. When he returned and saw blood on the tree stump, he worriedly ran to find Kamum. As for Kamum, she walked alone in the forest, blaming Bunpong for heartlessly abandoning her in this place. Before closing her eyes to rest in peace, Kamum made an oath, praying that Bunpong would suffer chasing after her. Just as Kamum logged out of the earth, Bunpong found her. Fadeng's past self also just found them. Feeling pity for Bunpong, he wished that if they met in the next life, he would take good care of her. That is why when reincarnated as Fanky, he was blindly obsessed with Kamkong. Basically, it was all karma caused by Fanky from his past life. So he had to resolve it himself, give up love and hatred, and if possible, accept letting AI find her own happiness instead of forcing her to be with him. Fanky had one day left to think. From now until tomorrow, if he created more karma, all the merit he accumulated would dissipate. At Cythera's place, she was also having a headache because if the curse was broken tomorrow, she risked having to watch Fanky and AI be together. So she had to stop it no matter what. Morning came. AI and Kor went to the temple to pray first before going to Nonghan Lake. Bon wanted to go along, but AI told him to just wait here because going there would be very dangerous. The king moved with AI and Kor to Nonghan Lake. In a blink, everything was like in the era of Ikam and Fadeng, and the ritual was also prepared. The king called the souls under Nonghan Lake up. AI just needed to beg for the Snake King's forgiveness. If he agreed, she would drip blood onto the ground, and whether the curse was broken or not would depend on the snake god Fanky. Night fell, and the ritual began. AI said a few words to Kor, feeling that no matter what life it was, he still had feelings for her, and she was very happy about that. Fu also took the opportunity to whisper sweet nothings to Manrin because if the curse was broken, they wouldn't see each other anymore. AI knelt down with everyone and began to beg for the Snake King's forgiveness. Just as she finished speaking, a whirlpool appeared in the lake. It turned out to be Fanky, coming to say he agreed to forgive them, ending all hatred, whether in the past life or this life. The souls began to glow and be liberated, free, escaping the cycle of karma. Fanky agreed to drip his blood to break the curse. Just at the part where he was preparing to do it, Cythera and Puchong arrived to crash the party. Fanky had advised her gently, but Cythera was determined that if she couldn't have him, she'd ruin it for everyone, so Fanky had to transform to duel with Cythera. Puchong was on the shore fighting Kor. Unluckily for him, he was weak but tried to act tough, and after just 2 moves, Puchong dropped like a fly. Cythera rushed at Kor and pushed him down. The knife fell to the ground, and Cythera endured the pain to pick it up and then lunged at AI. Kor used his body to shield AI, but even more surprisingly, Fanky rushed out to shield both Kor and AI. Fanky hoped his sacrifice would make Cythera stop obsessing over him, stop creating more karma, and that everything should end here. Heartbroken, Cythera returned to the underwater palace as Fanky asked. He said a few final words to AI and also a couple of sentences to Kor. Now Fanky could finally accept witnessing the person he loved being happy with someone else. Having said everything that needed to be said, Fanky closed his eyes and rested in peace in AI's arms. The Snake King appeared and told everyone not to be sad. Fanky's time was up, and he would take Fanky to be reincarnated in a better place. The curse was also broken, and all the souls in Nonghan Lake would be free. As soon as the Snake King finished speaking, the souls gradually dissipated. The king, Queen and Manrin said goodbye to AI. Fu didn't want to part with Manrin, but he couldn't keep her. Fu told Manrin he would wait for her, whether in this life or the next. After saying goodbye, the queen prayed that AI and Kor could be together in this life, then left with the king and Manrin to make it in time for reincarnation. About a month later, Kor and AI returned to Bangkok. Their love story was fully supported by both families, and a wedding was scheduled right away. AI's book about the Fadeng Nong AI legend was published. Decades passed, AI and Kor became an old couple, and their daughter named Rin had grown up. Rin even got into a university in England. Before going to study abroad, Rin begged her parents to let her visit Nonghan Lake in the countryside. AI was worried and didn't agree, fearing Rin would get entangled in the past, but she couldn't stop her. Rin was determined to go there for a trip. During the trip, Rin met her destiny named Fit, who was naturally the reincarnation of Fanky. Perhaps that was why they felt very familiar with each other as soon as they met. The movie ends right here. Don't forget to kick that subscribe button so you don't miss other cool episodes, and for now, see you again and bye-bye.